Chopped Liver is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
You think you're weird? I think you're dumb. You f***ing know makes me so fun. You're drunk now, just go home. You're drunk now, just go home. You're drunk now, just go home. You're drunk now. You think you're special? Coming to you live from the luscious loins of LaPel, Indiana. My name is Shipwreck Shep, hanging out always with Peter Graves and Paul. Where? Oh, yeah. What happened?
You know,
I know, but nobody else knows. So Paulie couldn't be here tonight. Apparently, his back,
the lotion in the basket.
is sick and tired of my bullshit. So, anyways,
Isn't that a consistent thing, though? I mean, I've not seen him here in a long time, actually. So is this like his new MO, or
are you gonna come at him?
No.
So our special guest tonight is Mike Menke.
You brought it up.
And how's it going, Mike?
Good.
I could barely see you.
Well, thank God.
Along with him is Jennifer Moppin.
Hello.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hello.
Hello, Indianapolis.
So I have to ask,
And surrounding area.
it's,
And surrounding area. I mean, LaPel's surrounding area. So
is LaPel surrounded?
well, is it in downtown? Not really.
It's the luscious loins of
the
LaPel.
luscious lines of LaPel.
By the way,
I did like the Christmas lights on the street lamps coming
Very-
into
very
Main
festive.
Street. Very festive.
I haven't
Yeah.
noticed.
The lapdog of Indianapolis, of Naptown.
The lap dog, lapel
Laptown.
dog, lapel dog,
LaPel dog.
the lapel dog of Indianapolis.
Right on. So, how was y'all's daytime commute?
To where? Here?
The drive here.
Oh, the drive here.
it's a general statement.
Commute to here. Commute here. Pretty good. I mean, I started with Spotify. It was
It started with the
it
Flaming
started and ended
Lips.
with the Flaming Lips.
Lips.
Spotify,
Oh,
it's
nice.
like
Spotify.
started with the Flaming Lips, and by the time we got to the last song was the Flaming Lips again. So
Hell yeah.
Yoshimi.
Battle of the Pink Robots.
Yeah.
Oh, such a
But
great
it
album.
started with
Fight Test.
Yeah, that one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. There's some Wilco. There's some more
Have you guys
him.
caught them live?
Like 5 times I've seen
Oh
them.
my god, I haven't seen them live
They're
yet. I hear it's
fucking
amazing.
awesome. Yeah, they're great.
Ugh,
That's
I know I'm
it's a
missing out.
fun fucking show for sure. Always.
Right on. Sounds like you had a heck of a daytime commute.
Yeah, it was a dusk time commute.
Oh, what time?
Dusk time.
Dusk time. Yeah, it was dusk
in
time.
between states.
The in between.
Mhm.
Where the veil drops.
Did you
for the
get-
night?
Did you guys get a pretty good storm last night or nah?
Storm?
Was there a storm?
There was up here.
Ooh, no
No, I was
storm.
asleep.
No. Maybe we got a little sprinkler. No, because we went to see Jesse Lee play last night at the Chatterbox.
Yeah, it was a
And
little.
it did mist a little bit.
Yeah, it
It
rained
missed
a
it a
little
little
bit.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
rained
that
a
was
little
it,
bit, but not
though.
much. No.
Yep.
We were at the Chatterbox.
He was great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was avant-garde classical music.
2
You gotta-
bassoons, 2 cellos.
How,
One of the bassoons had, like a whammy pedal and a
Yeah, so it was
delay and like a little boss multi-effects pedal. Yeah, that's pretty cool actually. Badass. Mark Ortwine was the guy with
Gonna fix your
the
camera.
bassoon. I think he's in the ISO, but he like plays, affected bassoon live. So it was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was really cool.
it's good to hear.
It was packed. It was like you could not move in that place. You could body surf across the crowd. It was that tight on a Tuesday.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
I wasn't expecting that. But
A little
my-
claustrophobic for my taste.
Yeah, we ended up-
I don't know. I was.
hanging outside. There's a lot of people outside too because there wasn't enough room inside. But I love that place though. Chatterbox is a great place.
Yeah, it's awesome.
and that's you said in New Orleans, is that right?
Chatterbox is
It's on Mass Ave?
It's on Mass Ave, which
Oh,
is
my bad.
as close as you can get to New
It's been like
Orleans.
the place to go for jazz.
for jazz. Yeah, that and the
forever.
Jazz Kitchen.
It was a
Yeah.
But
bone-chilling,
downtown-
cold, rainy
downtown
night
Chatterbox.
in Hamilton County. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
getting a little warm.
Hello, Jeanette.
Cellos rule.
Are people
Yes.
saying things already?
Yes.
Well, yeah, man.
What are they
We're
saying?
live.
Jeanette?
We're live across the internet.
Oh my goodness.
Jeanette's partial to cellos.
Well, who isn't? I mean, that's a bellowing celloing instrument. It's got a. It's. Sorry about the. I got to reach for my
Extra,
drink. I
yeah.
apologize, everybody, but it's a little. Out of
You're more than
my-
welcome to use the desk if you want
Little
to.
out of my.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a good point. I should just do that.
Yeah, we got special drinks tonight.
Oh yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
Let's-
It is today. If people aren't aware and don't watch the Weather Channel, hurricane season is from June 1st to December 1st. So today is the last day of hurricane season, and in celebration of the last day of hurricane season, I made a giant silver bowl of hurricanes, which is New Orleans and not Chatterbox related. In these nice silver cups. And
Well, let's cheers.
cheers to the end of hurricane season.
The end of hurricane.
The end of
season.
hurricane season.
It's crazy how they got the weather to sign a pact that they wouldn't do anything after.
Well, you know, statisticians
That
have
was a big shot.
It's a yeah, and there's a lot more. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Mm.
and it's better now. I think the version you got doesn't have all the extra like lemon and lime. I put another lemon and lime in it. Makes a difference.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
So, did you write a review about last night's show by chance?
No, I did not. I was not. I wrote a review about Jesse from like 2 Thursdays ago, though that was a new today.
Right on.
But I'd already reviewed, cellos 2
Hell yeah.
weeks ago, and it's in today's Nuvo. So, and that was a great show too. At the commissary.
Yeah,
in
commissary Blind Tiger.
Blind Tiger
It's
at
on,
the
New York
northeast.
and- yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
New York and Alabama streets.
It's
Just
a
kinda
coffee shop.
You go underground. It's like in a really old building.
What is
and
it
then
called? Vienna.
The Vienna
The
building.
Vienna building.
Yes.
At the
it's
northeast
really
corner of
beautiful.
Alabama,
It's
New
like
York.
turn of the century, I think.
But it
So
is
it really suited the night. It was
it's-
just like the whole atmosphere that night was incredible. And then you go downstairs and it's just a really lovely,
it's a
cozy-
coffee shop, craft cocktail bar, barber shop, all on the basement level that you'd like walk down from the sidewalk into. It's pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
I've never heard of it. I've never
I
been
had
there.
never heard of it either, but that was my actual like I'd gone and done a couple told Jericho I was gonna go review a few shows and did, but the first one that I got assigned by Jericho was the Jesse show. So
Right
and
on.
I'm like, where the commissary? What is that? But now I know.
Hell
It's
yeah.
been there 4 years, I guess. So they just started serving cocktail like a year ago. So
But
there's
I
a
had
coffee shop in there.
yeah, and they do like cappuccinos and I mean different flavors, of course, different combinations. And when they make your drink, they do the design into the foamy milk. So
Oh,
they did
yeah,
like
the-
a little trellis leaf kind of thing, and it was almost too lovely to drink. But the coffee itself is really good. It's really rich and robust. It's just that the whole night was beautiful music and atmosphere and people.
Everybody was
yeah.
mesmerized. There's like, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 people there. It's kind of a small place, but it's a coffee shop. But the entire time, I got video of all the performances. Hopefully Jesse's made it on the Nuvo. But anyway, everybody is just like transfixed the entire time watching, just like, because it was it's ambient music night. They have, the commissary has ambient music nights.
Oh, I can't hear myself.
The third, you may have stepped on something. No,
Now I can
There
hear.
you go.
Oh, it's kind of
little.
crackly.
Crackle.
You got it?
Yeah.
There you
Maybe
go.
the connection. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, they have I think it's called Subtle Notes.
Subtle Notes. It's
It's,
featuring Jesse Lee.
well, Subtle Notes is the third Thursday of every month.
Right.
That's the night,
Yeah.
and a couple guys run it, and they have and always perform. One of them played saxophone, alto saxophone, but then like had a droning machine and a harmonizer and delays and this pedal called a mood pedal by a company I've never heard of. That was, I'm not sure what the hell it did, but I got to look it up. And so it's just like this like droning sort of, like Scottish music drones, but there's all this ambient weird shit going on around it. And then Jesse played, and then a guy played violin without any effects, and then the three of them played as a trio. And the whole thing was sometimes serene, other times really disturbing, kind of like especially the end of Jesse's performance. And it was all kind of improvised stuff based, varies on the theme of whatever it was that you can read about at Nouveau, but what it actually was. But like if you guys ever seen There Will Be Blood, of course you guys have seen There Will Be Blood, right? There Will Be Blood. The soundtrack, the Johnny Greenwood soundtrack for There Will Be Blood.
Is that the one with the guy looking for oil?
Yeah, but the soundtrack was by Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead, and kind of like really staccato-y, trembling, tension building. And the end of Jesse's piece was a lot like that. So anyway, it was mood setting. It was really cool. I would highly recommend going out to that thing.
Yeah, he would.
The third Thursdays.
Yeah, he would like loop the lower, like
they
lower
all have
ranges of
loopers
music,
too.
and
That's
then he would
the other
play on
thing.
top of
Everybody
it.
have loopers.
And then the effects.
It was
it's just,
awesome.
Yeah,
It was so cool.
So who brought the Molly? Did you guys bring Molly, or did somebody else?
I brought the Jennifer. I think Molly stayed home, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Molly.
Ringwald.
By the way, kids, in case you're not aware, Molly is a reference to
MDMA.
There you go.
Okay. Oh yeah, the Miley Cyrus.
I like that. I
years.
always like to say that because the beginning of the show, it says mature audience. So it is.
Mature audience.
Do not let your children
mature
watch
audience-
this show.
Mature audience,
Okay.
but immature people, like immature like podcasters and guests. So mature audience.
We try our best.
Mature audience, yeah, but immature. That's probably why it's for mature audiences. Because of the immature.
I feel like a very mature 14-year-old. Thank you.
Well, I was guessing 12, but
All right,
you're.
that's fine.
I mean,
That's
a
fine.
super mature 12-year-old.
I will show you my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collection
Ooh.
after the show.
You still have your Ninja Turtles?
Oh, Jeanette, the
No.
T-shirt is a band. She's the lead
Maybe.
singer of Eve Black, and my band opened up for them a few years ago, before the pandemic. But she looks like Louise Brooks, and she's just awesome singer.
I think most people look a little like Louise Brooks.
Most people.
Well, they're in that they're human, because Louise Brooks is a human, and we're all human.
2 eyes,
2 eyes, 2 nostrils,
mouth.
Speak for yourself.
2 sides of a mouth, like legs.
Yeah, you should check out Eve Black. They're from Chicago. They're really, really good.
How would you typify their sound? What do they sound like?
Definitely like post-punk, gothic.
Yeah. There's been a lot of good post-punk out of Chicago.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Always have been. Really.
My favorite band that nobody's ever heard of is Big Hat.
Big Hat.
Yeah, they were before My Scarlet Life.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like some of the people that went on to My Scarlet Life. But it was really instrumental and flowy, and yeah, very like 80s goth that like somehow made it into the 90s. It was almost orchestral.
Maneuvers in the Dark, or
Big Hat.
Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark.
Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark.
OMD. Come on. Do you not remember the Pretty Pink soundtrack? Come on.
No,
Come on.
You got me on that one. Totally stumped me on that
Synth
one.
band from either Manchester or Liverpool.
Oh my god, and
OMD.
it's a synth band that I don't
Synth
know
band
of.
from the
I'll
80s.
have to
They
look
were
them
on the
up.
Pretty Pink soundtrack.
They actually started
If
in
you
the
leave, don't look back.
late 70s.
Suddenly, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that song
I know
is
that song.
OMD,
It's
isn't
an
it? That's the
amazing
OMD
song.
song. isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
If you
Yeah,
leave.
that was their big.
So, Mike, what got you into music? Tell us how that all began.
Initially,
Yeah, back in the day.
Oh man. Okay, so as a kid, there were albums in the house that like Gordon Lightfoot and Dolly Parton and Barry Manilow and what else? Linda Ronstadt and the 1812 Overture by Tchaikovsky and the Blues Brothers soundtrack, and
That's one of my favorites.
it's fun.
Yeah, I got that on vinyl for sure.
So, Briefcase Full of Blues. Briefcase Full of Blues. Anyway, so I mean, always listening, and I grew up near Chicago in Northwest Indiana in Hobart, and so we always had Chicago radio stations that played things that you wouldn't hear in Indianapolis for 10 years, probably. When I got a little older, but I was a trumpet player in high school, first chair trumpet player in the Hobart High School band.
Right on.
Yep. So trumpet, and didn't like being in a band though. I mean, I've always loved music. I've always been a huge fan. All of my friends from Hobart, we go up to Chicago 3 or 4 times a week sometimes to see shows. And though my mom didn't know this at the time, you know, I had like 5 fake IDs in high school. At the end of high school, this guy who actually just passed away this year, sax player, he's great, John Hook. John Hook worked for like the audio visual department or whatever at the high school. So he had somehow, I don't know exactly how he pulled it off, but he had keys to like every damn room in the entire school, right? And he took photography class. So he he took a picture of my license, blew it up like really big, cut numbers out, you know, glued it over, took another picture of that, brought it back down to the right size. And back then they weren't plastic. And so we just photocopied the, you know, the organ donor thing off the back and glued it on. And I had 5 of those. You know, I went
Nice.
to, yeah. So, you know,
You're the reason they had to make like 3D laminates.
yeah,
and all
well,
sorts
it
of
wasn't
crazy
my
shit.
fault exactly, maybe,
It's
but not
You and your
directly.
friend. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It was so easy to fake.
it was way easy to fake. I mean, I couldn't have done it, but he did. So I just
All you need
reaped
is
the benefit.
a dark room.
All you need is the friend who has access to the dark room and the willingness to do that.
That's-
So, but you know, we were all young and naive back then. It was, you know, high school. You know, nobody could get thrown in jail for that. Could they?
I mean, you got to get caught, right?
Well, and I think the statute of limitations is over at this point because it was
Yeah.
like 1983 or something. So
Where was the place to go then?
where in Chicago?
Yeah. Where were you going back then?
Aragon Ballroom, saw the Smiths there, saw like when the Bunnymen New Order there. Where else? Obviously, the Metro, lots of shows at the Metro. And then right across from Aragon's Riviera nightclub, saw PIL there, saw the Replacements there a couple times, saw a lot of shows there. And then WXRT in Chicago, amazing radio station. And that's where the reason I even knew the Smiths existed and they were playing at the Aragon Ballroom was because they were playing them on an XRT. So, but XRT would have like dance nights or whatever. And even though I was 18, I had my fake ID and I was going to IUN in Gary. And my friend, actually, we just talked to her a few nights ago, Renee Chenor. She and I would go up to we went up to Exit a couple times and to like their goth nights or whatever and dance. But there was this place called Eric the Reds. It was not quite to Chicago, just across the Illinois line. And we go to their, you know, XRT dance nights at, and one of the DJs from XRT would be there spinning records all night. You know, drive home at 2 a.m. My mom would be at the door. Where have you been? you know.
Nice.
That was the, you know,
That's how
down.
you want to be when you're that age.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Shows heart. So
yeah.
what was the scene like back then? Like in terms of Indiana?
I have no idea.
Did you ever go to Indianapolis or was it only Chicago?
No, only Chicago. I mean, I didn't know anybody in Indianapolis. I moved here in 92 to work for Eli Lilly. I was a molecular biologist for 22 years. Graduated at IU in 90.
Nice.
Blah, blah, blah. But yeah. So Indianapolis, I have no idea. I mean, other than, you know, being able to look back at records and who was making records then. And I mean, at some point, I'm not sure what year they started, but I mean, Zero Boys were big, Toxic Reasons were big. There's a lot of punk bands that were big around that time.
Wasn't
Dow Jones and the Industrials.
Zero Boys like late 70s?
Was who?
Zero Boys? Late
I don't know
70s?
when they
think
exactly
79,
started. I don't remember
80,
the exact
definitely
year. I have to look it up.
79, 80, I believe.
Okay. I'm just
Oh,
verifying.
yeah.
But
and then the Toxics, obviously, after that, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what else was going on. I have no clue what was going on in Indianapolis.
Right,
back
because
then.
Indianapolis has kind of got this weird cultural like it doesn't. You'll see bands hit Cincinnati and then Chicago. Like for some reason, we're like avoided by the major bands.
I think that's improving these days, but it was like that for sure when I moved here. There wasn't a lot going on when I moved.
I mean, that's what I noticed when I moved here in the mid '90s. Anyway,
I moved here in '92, and it was the same thing. I mean, there wasn't.
I mean, the major like pop bands, like the happy radio bands, would definitely come through and do their like, you know, big show.
You had the Y Store back then,
right?
Remember the Y Store?
But like
lack of water.
In terms of like subcultural draw, there wouldn't be bands like say from California or New York that were like, I have to play.
Oh no.
Back at that point.
No, back then, definitively not. Now, I mean, the Mel has bands from all over the planet to play.
Oh yeah, their draw has gotten huge.
Yeah. But I mean, the Mel's not the only place that has great bands around here these days. So
it's true.
Though it has a lot of them. So
it's a lot more options in the last couple of years.
Yeah. And then, you know, the Hi-Fi has brought a lot of bigger bands in routinely that you know, the Mel would never even, I mean, I don't know, too small for the Vogue, too big for the Mel, too big for Healer or whatever. So, I mean, the Hi-Fi is definitely bringing people in and advertising and bringing lots of people into Fountain Square. And, you know, think about what Fountain Square was like when, you know, even 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I mean, it was not good. All the artists lived there. All the artists. Well, yeah, I mean, Radio was there. That was the only thing. That was the only anchor. There was nothing else going on.
Radio was the turning point.
Yeah.
Well, the Fountain Theater, they also had bands.
There's always been jazz bands and weddings and.
No, but they, you know, Shellac. I mean, they would have punk rock.
Shellac played at the.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
they used to do the Razor Goth Night in Fountain Square.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't attend any of that, so I wouldn't know. But I believe you. I wouldn't.
Yeah. They had a big rockabilly festival, like, you know, annually.
Oh, Jeanette says that the Zero Boys debuted in '80.
Okay, that was close. I remember
mainly at the patio. Oh, there's my Jerry's Metro Lounge Act. My friend Jerry Karwowski's popping in from Chicago.
Yeah, there's also a pizza place in you know, early '80s punk. There was a pizza place. It was like on College Avenue. Weird Al's or Big Al's or something.
It is Big Al's.
Yeah. Joan Jett played there, and you know, sometimes you can.
I think there's a Zero Boys recording something from Big Al's.
Yeah.
Somewhere I've seen online.
Is that the weird shout out on the Sloppy Seconds album with the Big Al or Weird Al?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like Weird Al, it was Big Al.
Cartoon
I'd say Weird Al.
It's like, probably, yeah.
Tucked in the album art somewhere.
Yep,
I think.
Yep. That's what that's referring to for sure. I've never been there, but I've heard of that name, so I know it was a thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Sloppy actually is probably one of the biggest touring bands that came out of Indy that's still going strong. It's
Tammy Dag says Paramount Palace. Anybody remember the Paramount Palace?
I've heard of it.
No.
The Emerson, that was the other. The Emerson had some shit. I saw it. L7 at the Emerson. I saw.
Cole played there.
There was some band, I think it's called Zwan or something, that Billy Corgan fronted, and they played there. My first band, that was one of our first gigs, I think, was at the Emerson a long time ago.
So, Jennifer, what got you into music?
Well,
oh yeah, Jello Biafra. Matt Chandler and Sarah Sturridge brought Jello Biafra to the Fountain Room.
Well, actually, it was like I don't know. I remember in the very early '80s when I was a kid, like really young. You know, I gravitated towards. I don't know. There's some radio stations that actually played like soft cell. We used to go camping somewhere, and there was like, you know, you can get like a radio station in, and they would play like soft cell and Human League, you know, those early hits and Kajagoogoo. So I remember thinking that's the kind of music I gravitated towards. It was actually camping. And my parents, my dad was you know, he played trumpet at Pike High School and at IU, like in the marching hundred, but they never really played records when I was there. So it was just kind of like I had to discover things on my own. They had a lot of Herb Alpert and Peter, Paul, and Mary, and there was a Beatles 45 that I listened to a lot. And I remember liking that when I was like 4. And thank you. But wanting to play music, I think it was a couple of things. I think I really liked the electronic stuff, but I didn't know how it was made. But I think, well, I love Michael Jackson, and then I got into Duran Duran, and Duran Duran really, I think that was like my main conduit into like the music that eventually I would be inspired by and to play. And I remember thinking like, when Nick Rhodes was doing this in the synthesizers and the beat, the beats and stuff. So I started buying cassettes, those were my first cassettes. And I think I was like 13 years old. And then for some reason, I read a lot of articles. I was really interested in their sound. And actually, the cool thing about Duran Duran, which I liked, was if you got the right kind of magazines, they would tell you how what they were inspired by, like what sounds. So, when they were talking about how they formed as a band and what inspired them, and I discovered bands like the Sex Pistols. So then I would like look around. I mean, I looked in the libraries, I tried, discover the Sex Pistols and then Blondie.
They had Sex Pistols in the library?
Well, they had books about new
books
wave and
about-
rock and roll.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know how I don't know. I just kind of for some reason, and it was before the internet, of course. You had to go to libraries, you had to, go to bookstores. Record stores, they would have that kind of stuff. And then I was like, oh wow, punk rock, and I really, really loved the Sex Pistols. They really inspired me. And then I think shortly after that, Sid and Nancy came out, and started getting the Dead Kennedys, and that was a big band for me. And and then Target was also a cheap place to get records. Well, Target, Target.
Airway.
Yeah, Airway became Target. And I remember they had like new wave albums for like $3, and I got in cassettes. So that was just like I'd save my money and buy like, I bought like 3 Psychedelic Furs records. And then I watched a lot of Night Flight, and I learned a lot about music, and of course MTV. MTV was a big thing for us too. So when I was in 8th grade, I just started. I didn't really know how to play music. I was just kind of experimenting. I had this Commodore 64 and I attached this. I did. They had this awesome thing, this awesome instrument that you can lay a keyboard over the keyboard, like a musical keyboard.
Really?
Yeah. It was like a toy we got at Children's Palace or something, and a floppy disk. And it was like synthesizer sounds, and you could do like 4-track recordings and all that stuff. And I started making cassettes. My dad worked for the phone company, and I asked him, is there a way I could like record this on a cassette, the music I'm making, and put it on a cassette? And so my dad, since, we have like one of those TVs with the jack in it, with the sound jack in it.
Yeah.
So my dad taught me how to put it through a tape recorder. So I just had one of those little flat tape recorders, taped some music, and just didn't really know what I was doing. I was just bouncing around with sounds.
Hell yeah.
And then we played in the van, and my mom goes, well, Jack, my dad's name was Jack. Now you know why Jennifer's music's so weird. And then what got me inspired to play guitar, I heard The Cult, She Sells Sanctuary, and I was just like, I want to play guitar just like that. And I got really into The Cult, and bought my first guitar when I was 15.
Jim Jones?
Huh?
Jim Jones.
Jim Jones?
The Cult. Not that Cult, different Cult. Oh,
yeah, he's from Indiana. That's another Indiana reference. Jim Jones.
Yeah,
Indianapolis too. So
native Jim Jones.
And then I started playing guitar, and then I picked up I was trying to get my girlfriends, and then we'd start going to Arlington, and the first time I went to the Arlington Theater in 87, I think I was like 16. And that was when I realized, wow, there's a real punk rock scene in Indiana. I was like, I thought it was just Hollywood, or I had no concept. And I think the first bands I saw were like Bluck. And Bluck were actually like in my high school at Brownsburg.
So Bulldogs.
Yeah, go Bulldogs. But back then it was like skateboards and half pints and lots of bad behavior at Brownsburg High School. It was like Toronto City. Um, staying out all night and
Mm.
just big parties. I mean, I was always kind of geeky. I never really got invited to the cool parties, and I was a little young too. But yeah, going to Arlington, I saw Transgression, Bluck, Drop Dead, and then just started meeting people that way. And then I moved to Martinsville.
As
When
one does.
Yeah, my dad worked for the phone company, so he worked in this underground facility where they had one of the red phones for the nuclear, warhead. They had to protect it or something. It was like, it's in Morgantown. It just looks like a little shack, but it goes down like that,
A
hundreds
silo,
of
like
feet.
a missile silo.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad had to,
Nuclear missile silo.
yeah.
in
So one of the red
Morgantown.
phones
Who knew?
was located in Morgantown. Don't tell the Russians if you're hearing.
I'm sure they already know.
They already know.
God.
Vladimir Putin, if you're listening, what'd you find that silo? I'm gonna tell you the location of that silo. So, and then Martinsville is a little bit of a culture shock from Brownsburg.
A little bit.
But I met some cool people. And I started forming a band with my friend Ed. He loved the Zero Boys too. And
What year are we at right now?
it was like 87.
80s. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started playing bass, and then I played bass in the Martinsville marching band my senior year, and then moved to Bloomington. But I always hung out at Bloomington and went to shows there, and I went to Indianapolis. So as soon as I learned how to drive, I was just always going to shows.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I got.
So how long has Rhino's been operating in Bloomington?
To my knowledge, I think it was like at least 1990.
Wow.
But before then, there was the street dances in Bloomington. They would close off a street, and bands like Tangleweed would play, and Frankie Camaro, Go Man Go, Chibadawa, Virginia Scrapings. And then I went to a couple of house parties down there. And there's actually a video out there where I'm at a basement party dancing to Frankie Camaro's music and Phil Trakoff from,
Frankie Camaro.
Virginia Scrapings.
That's a hell of a name.
So yeah.
Frankie Camaro.
Yeah.
Like if you're not a
That's
badass,
really-
like I'd be really let down. Like your name is Frankie Camaro.
He's played Punk Rock Night a few times.
Oh yeah. He's a legend. I mean, I think he might live in India. I don't know. He lives somewhere.
Anybody know where Frankie Camaro lives? Not his address.
Please
Is it
don't
Indy-
dox Frankie Camaro.
Is it Indy or Bloomington? I'm just curious. If anyone knows.
Last I knew, he was down south. So
Okay.
somewhere in that general vicinity.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Jennifer
I just-
Maupin, did
Yes.
you ever get to see Pizzle when Cricket was the singer?
Yes, in Bloomington.
Right on.
Yep.
That was
Yeah, we
Jeanette?
love Pizzle. Yeah, Second Story. Love that place.
There it is. We found it. I'm gonna mute that mic as you come back. Doesn't have the best stand on it. So Peter Graves, got you into music, man.
Oh, my dad was a guitarist and a guitar teacher his whole life, so I was just born into it.
Born into
I had
it.
no choice. That's
Right.
why I don't play music and I'm not in a band and became a visual artist. That was my rebellion.
Not
My dad
doing
was
it, Dad.
like, "Fuck you, Dad!" Dad was like, "You were born to rock," and I was like, "No, I was born to draw pretty pictures."
No, son. Not the dark side.
Like, I mean, I can play guitar, of course, because
Hell yeah.
like he put a guitar in my hand as soon as I could like hold them up.
All you know how to play is Oasis songs, right?
I can play power chords. I know power chords. I know
Gotcha.
like
Do you know the Oasis power chords?
what is it, probably like A, D,
It's
G.
E, G,
C.
E,
There's an A minor. There's an A minor.
Oh, God.
They use
A
A minors
minor.
too. They use
Not
A
the
minors
minor chords.
every now and then.
Oh, they use a B minor sus in one of their songs.
What?
Not the sustained
Swear
chord.
to
Oh
God.
wow. See, that's the problem. like,
D7 sus
hanging out with
9.
my dad was literally like him talking about this type of stuff all the time, and I was just like, I don't want to learn this. My dad would like read the guitar grimoire for fun.
I
don't know. He had problems.
I heard it has.
yeah, you know what got me into music? I really loved Barney and Friends music,
That's what
Yeah.
got you.
and I just
Drove you into
next
a
thing I
life
know,
of
I'm
punk rock.
playing thrash, fucking bass guitar, and
I hear a lot of Barney influence in the post fiber type like a tiger.
do you?
yeah, there's a lot of Barney influences.
I'll let,
it's
I'll let Nick
subtle.
Jordan know. He's the
It's
one that
subtle.
writes most of the songs.
It's subtle. I mean, it's not the lyrics.
It's all the hugging.
Mostly about hugging.
the hugs,
Yeah,
the red flags. Maybe.
I love you. You love me. All that shit. You know, and there's
Yeah, punks nowadays really love each other.
they do.
Yeah.
I think it's the Barney influence on the punk on this generation of punks. It's the Barney influence, probably.
I do remember going to punk shows and thinking, "Am I going to get knifed tonight?"
And then Barney walks in the room.
I don't feel
And
that
then
way.
everybody
going
hugs,
to the Mel
and then
at
everybody
all.
hugs. No, the Mel's not like that at
Yeah, I
all.
don't feel that way at all.
I'd worry about getting hugged too much at the Mel. I
Yeah,
think,
for sure.
That's
More
why,
than knife.
that's why I wear a studded leather jacket.
so the
Keeps
hugs
everybody off of me.
That's a good point.
Like in
That's probably why
80
Craig does.
If
it
you want to
too.
hug, it's gonna be painful as fuck.
it was either in 88 or 89 when I started going to the Arlington Theater, and I remember my dad and my mom driving me there from Martinsville for the first time, and I said,
That's
"Dad, thank
dedication
you."
from a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know my dad didn't like it, but he trusted me, and I said, I just want to hear some music, and it's community and all this stuff. But there's a lot of there's some definite violence going on during that time. There was a strong skinhead organization.
Yeah, I remember having to repel the skinheads from shows.
The Weak
Yeah, I
Skin-
remember the Drop Dead show. There's it was like long haired punk and punks, against the, and then I think they had kind of a rumble and Broad Ripple,
I mean, I definitely remember those going down too.
Yeah.
Broad Ripple got feisty sometimes.
Yeah, it really did.
That was because a lot of the like more traveler punk kids, the more like street kids, were sleeping in Broad Ripple Park throughout the 90s a lot. Or like
Yeah.
under the bridge.
The
when
bridge
they,
kids.
when they still had the parking lot that was over the canal.
Yeah.
Yeah, then people would sleep underneath
Yeah,
that a lot.
The bridge kids.
Yep.
Yep.
Can't forget. Oh,
That
what a
that
time
actually
the
takes
bridge
us
kids.
into our next question.
Oh god,
Mike, have you ever slept under a bridge?
I don't think so. No.
Damn.
I've
No.
I've not under a bridge.
Jennifer, have you ever slept under a bridge?
No. Afraid not.
I have walked under them though. I've driven under them. I've walked under them. I mean, slept those.
oh man,
We
You're gonna
fell
ask me,
asleep
aren't
in the
you?
car on Highway 37 on the way
I've
home
slept in
one
my
night.
car, but not under a bridge. Not under a bridge.
So if you're gonna
I slept
sleep
in
under
the
a
car.
bridge, if you're gonna sleep under a bridge, you want to climb the embankment as close as possible, and it'll
So the
level out.
wind.
It'll level out, yeah, and it'll block the wind.
Yeah.
And there's like girder type things
Yep.
that you can get up underneath. I mean, if you're gonna do it, but get really drunk first,
I will say
like
that,
a 40 at least,
that
and then climb up
while
there.
I
and
have
you're
not
good.
personally slept under bridges, I've seen many people do it.
Oh yeah.
New Orleans is full. I mean, there's like towns almost of people under a bridge in between like the business district and Lower Garden, like under I-10. It's just I-10 is a sea of people living under it.
Well, in the 90s, I was what I would like to say recreationally homeless with all the other crusty punks.
Sure.
And sometimes we would just take off and travel into the wild. And so you find a squat, or you
Sure.
find someone else's house to sleep at, or you sleep under a bridge, sure, or on a train, or whatever it takes. I thought that was what it took to be cool back then. So I followed people around doing that. It was really uncomfortable, basically. And I learned that a bed is pretty fucking awesome.
I prefer beds.
Beds are awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
when you have the choice between under the bridge on concrete, but up high enough where you're not getting wind and it's flat,
That's the
versus
secret.
versus bed
Bed all the way.
bed.
Bed wins out.
Yeah, it's much comfier.
I did not sleep under a bridge, but I fell asleep under a bridge.
That counts.
Well, yeah, you fell asleep under a bridge. So
Yeah.
You slept under a bridge.
I was waiting for the dope man to come through.
This sounds like
Mm.
a
I was to
song.
meet at the bridge
Was it under the bridge
off
downtown?
of,
Was it Lou
Shadeland?
Reed? Was it Lou Reed?
and by dope I
Waiting
mean
on the man.
marijuana,
Waiting on the man.
not cocaine. Is that
No.
Sure, we'll go with that one.
So Columbia.
long wink? What?
But that's not the drug I think of when he says Lou Reed.
No, he's talking about cocaine. I was talking about Colombia.
Yeah, no, it was
I mean-
Pato for real. It was Pato.
Oh,
I was waiting on weed.
yeah, it's probably not Colombia.
Goddamn weed dealers with their "I'll be there in 15 minutes." Never fucking works.
It's just
That's why it needs to be sold legally, so you don't have to schedule around their stupid shit.
well, that's
I don't even
that's
want-
what
I
that's what
doze
that's what
off
the
and
smart
fall
states are
asleep.
doing, legalizing. So
Oh, I mean, we're missing out.
We're
these roads,
idiots.
These roads we drive
oh
on,
my god,
fixed instantly.
yeah,
Are they really?
The taxes that we would
yeah.
generate,
The tax income from weed sales in the states that have it is incredible.
we're surrounded by states that sell it legally, and they somehow think that they're like what, like we're magically
Could you
keeping
just
it out.
not mess with that anymore?
It's just lost revenue at this
Homie,
point.
you don't have to mess. It picks you up
I'm a
great.
weirdo.
It's
I'm
great.
sorry.
It's great. No, you have ADHD, don't you?
A little.
Just a little.
Yeah, my mom refused to
All right,
medicate
keep
me.
playing with it then.
No, I'm done. Now I sound pretty good for this 15-second spot.
Yeah, you're like right in range.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's angled
perfect.
almost right. I'm an audio engineer. I'm a weirdo about mic placement.
So Peter answers yes. Me, not really, kind of, but somewhat. I dozed off.
Is the answer is yes for sleeping under a bridge? Is that what we're talking about still?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So we have 2 no's, 2 yeses.
It
2
was
no's,
like-
2 yeses.
sounds like it.
Yeah.
it's weird. I have no
It's a
concept of
50-50
time
mix.
when I like doze off. It
No,
could be an hour. It could be 2 minutes. I want to know the difference.
Yeah. Well, I think the 2-minute ones are called power naps.
How did we get into politics? What happened?
We were talking about how state is ridiculously losing out on income. By
yeah,
taxing weed.
yeah, from weed.
It was rhetorical.
Not. I mean,
That's as political as I'll get.
I will
just-
say
Yeah,
though
let's-
that I
yeah.
will say that the weed
Yeah.
dealers here
Eli
don't,
Lilly can
don't
suck it.
charge sales tax. So I
That's
mean,
true, yeah.
yeah. So it is cheaper than
But-
Illinois.
when I've
I
bought
don't
it
think
in
Eli
states where
Lilly's
it's
going to
legal,
sponsor this show anyway, so
Like-
fuck them.
like in Colorado, when you go buy it, where it's like legal,
Yeah.
you know, they like have a breakdown of where all your taxes go. You feel like you're helping out so many different things.
You are helping out so many different things by engaging
by
in
doing what you were going to do
by,
anyways.
by engaging in a molecule that's much better than Prozac. I worked for Lilly. I've taken Prozac. Not, I mean, none of the SSRIs are any good. Honestly, you know what is? Weed. Weed.
This is from
is the
someone who
best
worked at
anti-
Lilly. I mean,
I was a genetic
Um,
engineer and a
you're speaking of-
neuroscientist. Yeah.
Marijuana?
Marijuana is way
Okay,
better
just
than
make sure.
any
Like
small amounts though. I
dissected
mean, you can overdo it.
grains.
Just like,
right.
I mean, are you gonna have a shot or two, or are you gonna have the entire bottle? You're gonna have a couple beers, you're gonna drink the case. It is dosage dependent. Not that we will ever kill you, but it is the best
You never know.
antidepressant. Well,
You say that now. Wait until Eli Lilly gets her hands on it.
well, there's a reason that there's.
I don't think you can't patent a plant. That's the
That's
reason.
What if
the
they laced it with
problem.
opiates?
That's the problem. That's
It
why.
so would too.
I mean, that's why they came up with all the other weird opiates and then got this country addicted on them.
Yeah.
Send
Well,
everyone
so
to
somebody,
jail.
so the Purdue, whatever, it's Purdue Pharma people
Mhm.
could become stupidly wealthy while everybody becomes addicts in West Virginia.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or not just West Virginia.
Well,
but,
it's okay because it only takes its worst toll out on the poor. And everybody
well,
ignores
and
them
let's
anyways.
if you kill the poor quick, you get more money if you're the
Right.
rich. So may as well, their lives are meaningless to everybody, including the rich. So the rich are just like, let them die.
And then the
Let 'em-
lizard
let 'em
people come
kill themselves.
along,
Oh, the lizard people have been here forever.
and then flat Earth, but it's hollow too. I don't know how that works out.
So, Mike Menke, what was the first album you ever bought?
Did I ever bought myself or was given as a gift or thing?
You bought.
Probably my brother had a really good collection, so I didn't need to buy a lot for a while. But the first one I bought was probably REM's Document is the first one I can think of. That's like 87 or something.
87. Right.
Yeah. I saw them. My brother had Lysert's Pageant, which was recorded in Bloomington, by the way, or just outside of Bloomington, in Bedford, at the Bedford Mall, by Don Gaiman. Anyway, yeah, REM we're in Bloomington recording this summer of '84, the Lysert's Pageant album. And the next album was Document, the last one on IRS. And I think that was the first one I bought. The first album I bought was that 87. Yep. But only because my brother had a stupidly great record collection and I didn't need to buy anything. So, and that was back in the day where everybody made cassettes of, cassette mixes of everything. And you know.
I was doing that in like 97, man. I feel you. Even in my day. Jennifer, first album?
Probably Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah, I was.
Mama
really-
say, Mama sa, Mama kusa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Lionel Richie.
No, that isn't. Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa. Mama say, Mama sa. That is not Lionel Richie.
That's all night long.
What was it?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, Lionel Richie. Whatever.
But it was also and maybe Footloose. But then I traded the Footloose tape for a David Bowie
You traded Kenny
Ziggy.
Loggins away for what?
for Ziggy Stardust and the Spider Smarts.
That makes
my
sense.
best
All right.
my best
Come on.
friend.
All right.
One of my best friends, he had that, and I said, "Hey, you want to make a trade? Sure." So
Right on.
but I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the hell of that Footloose tape.
Peter Graves.
Okay. I think I got 3 tapes from Columbia House for like a penny
Did Rob and Dave send them
when I
to
was 12.
you? Didn't they work at Columbia House?
Yeah, they worked for
BMG.
And those 3 tapes were Belle Biv DeVoe,
Mm.
ABC,
Mm.
and Vanilla Ice.
Mm.
Oh wow! And you were a punk?
And I was 12 at the time.
Oh, okay.
My dad took the Vanilla
Pre-punk.
Ice album and he was like reading the liner notes and he was like, I can't send you home with this. I can't let your mom know I bought this for you. But the other one, I mean, I Missed the Bus. It was a great song.
right
I
on.
was 12. And then the first album I bought in Colorado with my mom's knowledge, knowing was Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced?
Yeah, I bought that one too.
And then
Oh,
she
nice.
took it from me a year later and
Oh.
burned it because the devil was inside of it.
Oh,
shh.
they found the devil.
Inside of Jimi Hendrix's Are You
Who
Experienced?
your copy?
Yeah.
Who knew? I mean,
exactly. And thank God they
infused-
burned it to save me.
Infused within that vinyl, your copy of that vinyl was.
I think it was
the
actually a
devil.
CD too. It was like
Ooh.
the first CD I ever bought.
You're right, Hammy Dog. I'm sorry. For some reason you're right, but it wasn't Michael Jackson's Thriller. It was on Thriller.
Jeanette, did you work at BMG? What's up? You
She's
probably
talking
know
about
my
Rob-
mom and my
Shout out to
dad.
BMG.
She's talking
Yeah.
about Rob and
My
Dave
mom was
working
like
there.
the
Yeah,
human
maybe that-
resources manager.
Oh no, she's saying
of-
she's saying Rob and Dave.
Yeah, over there. She was the human resources manager. And then my
That
my
was
dad
here in
was
Indy? I didn't know that.
some fucking top shelf motherfucker over there. I don't fucking know what
Just
he
remember that you sent in a penny. And
did.
they
Jeanette,
sent
you know
a
the
whole
name
bunch of albums.
Gideon Reynolds or Bud Reynolds or Melinda Reynolds? Remember those names? Those are my parents. Anyways,
You're a Reynolds.
no,
All right.
I'm a Shepler.
Well, you said your mom and dad were Reynolds.
My dad is not my biological father.
Oh, I see.
That sometimes happens. in life.
Complicated.
No, I understand. I understand.
We're all family.
Right on, Jeanette. Right on.
We're
right
all
on.
family. Don't worry about it.
We're all
We're
family.
all
yeah.
all
very
family.
related. Do you know that you were 70% identical genetically to a banana?
My first.
Yes.
70% identical to a banana
I'm-
genetically. Seriously.
It wouldn't take that much convincing for me.
It's true, and we're like 99.9999999% identical to each other, except for there's single nucleotide polymorphisms that cause differences. Whatever.
My first album was
That's
it was in
that's in the DNA.
Yeah.
Barney and Friends Greatest Hits on 8-track.
That
Was
Are
my
you
first.
I don't think that was on 8-track.
They had
Are you
8-track when
calling
you
me a
were born.
liar, Peter
That
Graves?
8-track when you were born.
I'm definitely calling you out on that one.
That 8-track. I think
Was it a purple 8-track?
It was purple with a green label,
Yeah.
and it said the Joker.
Mhm.
Not really. First album.
Speaking of 8-track,
If you watch the show, you already know my answer. It's the X Games first soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, what were you saying? Something about 8-tracks.
the only experience I ever have with 8-track is that my grandfather used to own a really, really expensive combine, and the only stereo system in it was an 8-track. And he had one 8-track in that thing, and it was John Denver. And I can only imagine him spending hours farming, listening to the
was it Rocky Mountain High?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a great.
Oh
That
my
was another
God.
album my parents had. John Denver's a big.
I remember
fan of
climbing
mine.
into it, like sneaking into the special barn I wasn't allowed to go into, and climbing into that thing, and this fighter jet cockpit it had, and then like hitting the 8-track, and John Denver turned on. It
Hell
was
yeah.
the weirdest thing in the world.
His Christmas album's a staple too.
Never had
Didn't he
Rocky
do an
Mountain
album with the
Christmas.
Muppets?
Yeah, of course
Yeah,
he did. I'm sure he
yeah.
did.
AKA
he, was
Jim
on,
Henson.
he was on there multiple times. He was a regular
Frank Oz.
guest. Frank Oz.
sang a song about leaving on a jet plane, left on a plane.
Yeah, most of the Muppets was Jim Henson and Frank Oz.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Frank Oz was in the Blues Brothers. He was the guy that took Jake's, like
Holy
gave
shit!
him all his stuff back. That's
I did not know that.
That's Frank Oz.
Damn.
He does that. He does little
bit parts.
yeah cameos.
yeah.
Kind of like
Bring it back to the Blues Brothers.
who else does it?
Stan Lee was doing it for
Stan
a while.
Lee.
Well, Stan
Yeah,
Lee's in every
yeah.
one of his.
Marvel ones.
Yeah.
There's a few people that do that. Why are somebody sad?
Kevin Smith is in like.
We got
everything
sad
he does.
faces here. That's for our first sad faces on
It won't
the
work.
Midweek.
Yeah, let's
Crisis
make
show.
everybody sad.
Oh, no.
Welcome to the depression.
Wow.
I do that same kind of work, Jeanette.
Didn't mean to emoji that.
Yeah,
My audio
Jeanette-
won't work through for some reason. So sure, LMAO. Right on, John. Cool.
Something
That
to-
happened actually a couple weeks ago. We had a live show and somebody angry reacted accidentally because their cat.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, everything cool? They're like, my fucking cat. Actually, it was Sabbath. And
Cat meant to do it though. The cat was
The
fed up with our.
the cats are self-aware.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing.
And Carol Spinney, says Alana.
Who's that?
Alana Disney.
No, Carol Spinney.
I'm a jackass. Oh God, I got jacks.
She's got 80 different names.
She does have 80.
Why does
different
Alana
names.
have
She's got,
1,000
she's got
Right,
14 different
Right,
Facebook
Granny.
profiles, I think.
I think she's a
Granny.
CIA operative. She's operating 14 different Facebook profiles.
I think you're right.
She's trying to influence us.
She
Solid
is-
influencing plan. It's working too.
Yeah, I mean, is she not already influenced?
Punks are easy to influence, right? Just give us
Yeah.
alcohol. We'll do it.
Yeah,
We'll do anything.
Gee, mister.
that's a cool effect.
What effect?
Was that just your voice? Or you just like,
Oh
or
yeah,
you're just. Oh, I thought you was using.
yeah. I do voices.
Oh.
Want to get high?
we
Don't
do.
forget to bring a towel. I'm so high right now.
we
I have no idea what's going on.
we mostly
do
do
that shit.
hick voices. She and
Oh, I could do his voice.
We
You guys
do
do
hick,
hick?
we do hick voices to
Do you
each
talk
other all the
back
time.
and forth to each other?
Yeah,
that way?
in hick voice. Yeah, like
God damn it,
like
woman!
angry-
I told you to grab
Exactly.
that beer 5 minutes ago.
Exactly.
Where the
That
fuck
is-
are you?
That is
Wo-
our house at various
Woman.
moments.
Woman,
give me fucking coffee. Come on. Jesus fucking Christ. How many times I gotta ask you? I want my fucking coffee. It's
So for those joining us right
6:15.
now, we have Mike Menke and Jennifer Maupin on the show.
Welcome to Lapel, Indiana.
And you tuned in just in time for my best Telly impersonation.
Jello.
Peter Graves is he's not he's not running the board tonight. He is co-hosting. Paulie couldn't be here.
I got Paulie's seat.
He had a threesome
Holy punk.
last night with like 3 models or something, and
Your brother's here.
back's hurting. I don't know. Couldn't make it out, but we miss him. We love you, buddy. Oh yeah, and my twin brother.
Your twin brother's here.
I show up and y'all are talking like John.
We're talking about
Jack.
Johns.
Thanks.
I think that's the next topic of conversation is porta potties.
Hillbilly.
We're talking about Johns. Not two as well as
Anyways,
Curatel.
it's funny. Like a lot of people don't realize how close Tally is to Mr. Hanky. It's almost the exact same voice.
I mean, they do most of those voices, right?
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Those.
I should move the drink closer. This is
Yeah, there's a
get
few
up.
people on there.
I don't want to get up.
Their writing board is pretty dope too.
Yeah.
I don't want to get up.
I don't want to get, I'm really comfortable
Hey,
with
Grandma,
my fucking
you
jerk.
just-
Can you get me a drink?
Give me your drink.
Woman.
See that silver goblet over that big ass silver goblet? There's some drinks in there.
I mean, we are drinking out of silver. It's
We are-
super bougie. It's pretty awesome.
I got the silver in Santa Fe, New Mexico for like $18, the whole
What?
shebang. And I looked it up online. Like
It's
the
a
bottom-
really big bowl.
It's a,
Right.
it's a
Jesus
giant.
Christ.
Dude, I
I didn't even realize it until you said something like it's
You gotta
been there
get-
this
it's
whole
a,
time.
It's a large bowl of. It's a punch bowl of punch.
A real silver punch.
I do
real-
have a
full of
camera
punch.
angle on it.
Yeah.
Here, we'll
Full
add
of-
it to the
full of-
stream.
full
real
of
quick.
hooch.
Good, because I'm gonna
Right
go get another.
here.
I think I'm gonna go get another beverage.
Bottom
It's
right
right there.
corner.
All right, see it there.
Yeah. Thumbs up. Oh, watch your head, man. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that camera now. Oh my god.
Spotlight's on you,
What
Bull.
the fuck?
Move it.
What was your first album, Bull?
Barney and Friends, greatest hits.
No, come on. What was your first album?
X Games, the official
Like
soundtrack.
a compilation?
Yeah.
Compilations used to
My-
be the
the
best way of
cameras, right.
finding new bands.
Forgot about the cameras.
Rhino used to put out compilations, and I would just buy those and be like, "Oh my god, now I like the X-Ray Specs, or now I like all these other bands."
Yeah,
Like,
that's cool.
Rhino.
Yeah,
They were really good
Rhino.
about
I'm
it.
gonna
Yeah.
earn some straight up, like street cred. Well, hold on. Damn, what? It's my memory sucks.
I think Rhino
Like,
just buys like old
out-
licensings up because they always tend to
I
like
bought
come out with music that was like 20 years old.
I had to hide it from my dad, but I bought Will Smith's "Get Jiggy with It."
Get jiggy with
That
it.
was like my first hip hop album.
Nah, 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 nah. Yeah.
We're going to Miami. Chickenpox.
And chickenpox, and I remember "Feel So Good" was on the radio.
Now you can hear him, ladies and gentlemen. He was talking on his way across the garage.
That mic is so good it caught you when you were
Well,
like
it's a
6
it's
feet
a
away.
it's a large diaphragm condenser. Of course, it's gonna catch it. That's phantom power and the whole 9 yards, 48 volts. All right,
My
sorry.
twin brother chimed in.
Did-
Remember
So I go
when
there, I
Dad
had
took?
the ice, and did I bring myself a drink?
Yes,
gotta-
Jack, I remember.
I've got to.
Yeah, my dad was a nut. He was a nut.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
We had
Satanic?
yes, for sure.
Or yeah, Satan definitely comes from the Hootie.
Totally. Like,
That's why he went to
check
do
this out.
like
So
folk music afterwards,
before
trying to recover his
before
soul.
we moved to Indiana, my dad was able to rent a house from our church. That's a whole nother story. But it had like this motherfucker. It was like a mansion. I mean, it
no
was
pressure to be there every
huge
Sunday.
house. And there was like 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms on the 3rd floor alone. And he made us share a fucking bedroom. There was literally an empty fucking room. We could have had our own bedroom, but he was such a nutcase about how he was raised and all this other stuff. He's a wild motherfucker. Whew.
He put you both in one room, but kept a room empty.
Yep. Yep.
Just would he torture you and be like, "Go stand in the empty room and
Oh,
think about what
dude.
if it was yours"?
I could sit here and list some
That's some crazy shit,
shit.
bro. That is definitely some crazy shit. Why don't you guys go fantasize about using the empty room for a while? My bed would be right here, and I would have a desk right here. No, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to wear boxers until I
What religion?
got away. He
What did
was
it-
raised Lutheran.
Buddhist.
Lutheran.
They call-
Buddhist.
Buddha. Okay, this is the second time in the last month I've had to say this on the show because I know there's kids watching and they need to know. It's a bad joke. Buddhism is not a religion; it's a way of life.
I know, but
All right,
it sounded funny.
we got to
That
keep that very
acts
clear here
exactly
because
I'm
like-
aware of.
That
because
basically functions exactly
religion-
like a religion for most people,
Yeah,
but it's
it's a way of
It's a
life.
way.
people are falsely worshiping the Buddha who did not want to be worshipped, just like Jesus did
First
not
you
be
have to
worshipped. Let's talk about that.
decide if it's Mahayana or
John Post is like, got it. I'm writing that down, Shep. Whatever. It's a thing because there's a lot of mental illness connected with a religion.
Oh,
No way!
absolutely.
Come on, seriously? I mean,
no.
Speaking of my biological father,
So tell us more about the room you weren't allowed to use.
it was empty. It had green carpet.
So Lutheran. So even Lutherans
Lutheran,
are that
yeah.
crazy. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I always
Like
thought
I
they
knew
were kinda
Southern Baptists were
moderate.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The church we went to was pretty moderate for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Southern Baptists.
What was the room for Jesus? Is that why it was empty? In case he came back.
Well, yeah, it was like tiny.
We got a room for you,
church.
Christ. It's right here. There's no furniture in it because I don't want my kids to think they might use it.
It was like the Napoleon House, except for Jesus. You remember the Napoleon House in New Orleans? They built it for Napoleon. They built the place for Napoleon to come.
I don't think I remember that at all.
Okay, so
no.
there's
Are
a
you
place.
talking about like Napoleon Dynamite?
No, Bonaparte.
Oh, Bonaparte.
Yeah, so in New Orleans,
French
Jean
guy.
Lafitte, the
Like to stick his
pirate,
hand in his
and
coat.
the
It was a bad
whoever the mayor at the time in New Orleans was, maybe it wasn't the mayor, maybe it was like the whatever, somebody high up I think it was Mayor New Orleans. It was Mayor New Orleans and John Lafitte, the pirate. Napoleon had been banished to an island before he died, and he died on that island. I can't remember the name of that island off the top of my head. But there was a plan by people in New Orleans to go to the island, extract him, and then they built a house for him. It's in the quarter. It's actually it's in the quarter, and it's called Napoleon House. There's no sign on it. There's just like a hat, like a Napoleon hat, hanging at the corner. It's right across from the courthouse. In the quarter, right? And it was if you remember the JFK movie, the very beginning of the movie, there's like a camera floating, around New Orleans, and it comes down into a building where Kevin Costner's character is watching, on TV, the assassination, whatever. And that's the Napoleon House.
Okay.
That's the location of that shot.
And they just left it there because
and it's called the Napoleon House still.
He will rise
it's a great
again
it's
someday and come claim his house.
It's a bar.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Everything is a
bar.
bar.
It's in the quarter, so it's a bar. But that is the building that they built for Napoleon to bring him. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
If only they could have smuggled him off that small island.
Well, he died.
Yeah.
Didn't he die of like syphilis or something? Or he did have some venereal disease.
Pretty sure everybody died from syphilis.
Well, if you had it, you died.
Yeah.
In a horrible sort of mental collapse because it invades your brain. But whatever, At least he had fun while he was
Everybody's
here.
got to die sometime.
Yeah,
Why not a horrible mental collapse brought on by
Napoleon had
STD?
fun while he was here. He, took over most of the planet in a short period of time.
I mean, he did a lot more than most people do in their lifetime.
As a short man, too. He had Napoleon. That's where Napoleon complex comes from.
Was he really that short, though?
Yes, he was like 4'8" or something.
Oh my god,
something like that.
I really had a seizure disorder too.
He had a seizure disorder. What was his wife's name?
I heard
Napoleon
he was in the second Ghostbusters, and during the scene with the Statue of Liberty.
Napoleon?
Yeah,
maybe he was.
He's like real short.
He is real short,
like 6'5".
Well, 6'5" is not as short as he used to be.
I'm done fucking.
I think he was 4'8", 5'2", something. I mean, he wasn't a big man, and I think that his shortness, just like Chihuahuas, like Chihuahuas are small dogs, but they have an attitude.
Oh yeah.
No, because Chihuahuas have Napoleon complex. They don't know it. They don't know who Napoleon is. There's no history of Napoleon in the dog world, but especially in the Chihuahua world. I mean, it's Mexico, but
she paid like $800 for that motherfucker. It was before
a Chihuahua?
I was with her. Yeah.
Why would anyone pay $800 for a Chihuahua?
It was like an apple head, long haired breed.
I lived with a Chihuahua right after my divorce.
It was a pretty little pup, but
I don't know.
It was literally the smallest cat I've ever owned.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, like literally, it never went outside. It could not take walks. Its legs are so tiny. I mean,
and they like shake all the time. They have like some thyroid problem.
It was like the size of this cup. At full growth, it was like this fucking big.
Oh, they're tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and oh yeah, you know what she named it? God damn it.
She named it. God damn it.
Oh no. Fucking Tinkerbell. I swear to God.
That is even worse than God damn it. To be
Couldn't
honest with you. Is a Chihuahua named Tinkerbell?
Literally.
Chihuahua.
So I mean, I married into this. Okay, I didn't know it was her dog, but we had potty pads. Yeah,
little piddle pads.
I swear to God, that's It was trained to use potty pads. Never had to go outside.
I will say that Jennifer just got into buying.
But that motherfucker
piddle pads for humans. So we've got them. We had
angry dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, we had 300 gallons of sewage pop up in our crawl space, and so there's like two 13-foot giant fucking holes in our backyard right now.
Oh my God,
it's crazy. But so we haven't been able to use the bathroom, well, any water really at the house until very recently for like the last week and a half. But Jennifer's solution to that was the human piddle pad. Have you seen those on Amazon? The human piddle pad.
No.
You can. Well, I mean, I think it speaks for itself. I didn't want to wear the diaper, so the piddle pad was enough. You put them in the tub and you piddle in the tub.
Are you talking about Depends?
No, I don't. They're not wearable. they're like a pad you put in the tub and you just piss on them and like soaks up the piss.
Uh,
Yeah,
Solutions
that
for
did not
problems I
happen.
never knew.
Because- well,
we
you
had.
know-
whenever somebody utters,
It
the
wasn't,
word,
and I will say it's human size, not Chihuahua size. You probably have the Chihuahua size piddle pad, right?
it was like 2.5 by 2.5 feet.
Yeah, this is
3
more
foot by
like-
3 foot.
This is this
I
is
don't know.
how thick though.
It's thick, boy. It was thick. God damn.
So you maybe it sounds like the
Triple
human.
absorbency.
Did you ever piss on it? Did it work?
No.
Oh, did you ever feel like trying?
No.
Did you ever duct tape it
No.
around you so you could
I would
pee
just-
wherever you stood?
I would just go out the back porch and piss over the fucking balcony like
like
everybody
a real
else.
boy.
Yeah, like a
Like
real boy.
Like a real boy.
Oh fuck. All right. I
Piss
think it's
over the balcony.
Let's have a drink.
So was this at like an apartment situation?
No, we lived in an apartment at one point.
So
yeah.
there's a balcony below you,
There,
because you know, like
oh yeah, Jeanette Josephine.
I'm sure it worked out fine.
yeah. For sure. Oh yeah.
Anybody familiar with the
God.
Deacon
If
of the
you-
Carmel
if you-
Apostolic Church?
Seen my legal addresses in my like house list. Like you saw my driver's license because it keeps track. You'd be like, fuck.
Live some places, huh?
Ah shit. Yeah, this I've been here for almost 3.5 years. I'm coming up on the record. Like the longest I've ever lived anywhere in my entire life.
3 years.
Yeah,
3 years is the longest you've lived anywhere.
anywhere.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That includes since I was born. We're just constantly fucking moving. I have moved so many fucking times.
I've moved more in the last 3 years after my divorce.
I blame it
than
on my
I've ever
ADHD.
lived.
Just can't sit still.
Divorce tends to.
Oh yeah, let's
you
take
know-
a shot.
Oh, all right, yeah. I moved to the big smile mug because I don't want to get up as often.
All right. Right on. I hope you rinse that out.
Well, I kind of.
The last time I used it, there was a dead bug in it, and I didn't give a shit.
I moved the dead bug out. I
Cheers.
saw him, but cheers.
Protein.
Delicious. Great film, by the way. Even the shipwreck. That's right. I lived at the shipwreck. Yes, it's
I've
great,
not seen it.
great film. Yeah, you can check it out. I think it's Paramount.
Dave
something.
Brown was promoting it at the Mill.
Yeah, I
That's
lived
wild.
at the shipwreck for 2 years there along at Disney. That was a good spot. I missed that place. Too bad I got kicked out for taking it. There's a show called Shelby Underground Music Festival that William Boswell put together, and it started to rain, so we had to move it. So we moved it to my house. So all those fucking people came to my house, and somebody posted like a video or something on Facebook, and the guy that owned the house that I was renting it from saw it, and he's like, "Yeah, you got 30 days, bro. Get the fuck out." And I was like, "No!" It was a sweet spot. It had like a full bar in the basement and shit. It was dope. It was dope. But whatever.
I want a
Anyways,
full bar.
I never
I
took the
think
show.
I think so. We're planning on taking our garage and turning it into a recording studio, and then building an apartment above it, and then renting the house that we're currently living in. That the garage is at as a rental or Airbnb or something. I'm not sure why I brought that up, but there was a reason.
Oh,
Probably.
you went
Real
to
estate is a
the
great
bar.
way of making.
Oh,
passive income.
right. So the bar. There should be a bar, like either probably not in the studio. It's probably not the best place, but maybe upstairs we'd have a full bar.
Definitely in the studio.
I will say,
Just on the opposite side of the board. Don't put the bar near
not in
board.
the control room. Not in the control room. Maybe there's a like bar against the wall.
I think you can put a
dragon room.
tiki bar anywhere you feel like it. They just go anywhere.
You're right. I think that when we're super into making tiki drinks.
I mean,
Gin-
bamboo bar.
gin.
You can just throw that.
Tiki
just,
drinks.
It's just,
Yeah, tiki
it looks
drinks.
good
I used to have a
We're-
tiki room in my basement.
You had tiki room in your basement.
Yeah, I lived in Broad Ripple. I have that little vintage bar in the garage.
Yeah, the one you were gonna give Katie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Shep has seen that bar.
Yeah,
it's
it's a cute
it's
little
amongst the
bar.
organs.
Mhm.
It's amongst the organs. You probably miss it because of
it
all
was
the organs.
awesome. I got it for like $75.
I got the
missed-
organs
I
for
did.
almost. I got the organs.
I'm
for
not gonna
almost-
lie, I missed it. I didn't see it.
I got there was
You think
It's so
because
much
we
fun.
were like
It's-
looking for that
it's-
gas can? You think I would have noticed?
It's
I
totally
camouflage.
missed
It is
it.
camouflaged
I
by
totally
the
missed it.
organs. It's camouflaged by the organs. The organs are dominating that.
Yeah,
space.
it was just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
dude, you got like 6 fucking full size organs up in that bitch.
Yeah, like a couple of them are churchy. I mean, like 3 chromatic scale footboard too, and 3 keyboards
I
on top.
helped Mike move 2 of these organs. At one point,
the Lowry and the
I
Lowry
didn't
and the
think you were
Wurlitzer.
gonna die, but I felt like you were certain that you were gonna die when we were the bigger one, because it's like so big that we
That
couldn't even.
Wurlitzer's
Like
massive.
I'll be honest with you, I'm a numbers man, and I'm sitting there thinking on this bigger one, I'm like, statistically, I don't think this is gonna work.
It worked. I got it up there. We got it
mathematically-
up there. We got it up there.
It's all Jennifer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give her all the credit, bruh. I give her all the credit. No, I mean, like you were, because you made to me like you were the eyes, you were the eyes of the operation.
Oh yeah.
So
I became an expert after picking up 5 fucking
Yeah,
organs.
we've picked up 5 organs in the last like
the
6
2
weeks.
Yeah.
And for all 5 organs, other than the
Most of them are free.
other than the transportation fee, I think I paid like $125 or something for all of them combined. Other than the like $60 truck off.
Travis just joined us.
Oh,
Travis.
he said, "We already had a spot. picked out in
oh
our
they have a
database."
spot for the tiki bar.
Yeah.
Well, you should come over and pick it up. Yeah, Travis.
Oh, I didn't know you were giving it out. Fuck you, Travis. I'm getting it right now.
No.
All right, guys, it's been fun hanging out.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
It's ready for you anytime.
You can
wanna
follow
pick it
us.
up.
You
But
can
now
follow
I
us in
have
the
a-
car.
See how much people like
to
tiki
But now I
Farm
have a way
Square.
of getting it to you.
Just
because
let me
I have
know
a
when
new
he's come
car.
to pick it up. I'll intercept him,
Oh yeah, now she has a car that'll hold it.
steal it
Yeah.
from him.
Yeah, actually, we can transport
have
it
a
to
truck?
you.
Yeah,
I
we
got a
can
truck.
take it to you.
Yeah, as
He's
long as you
got a
got
big
truck,
truck.
you got friends.
I'll run him over. Run his car over with my big ass truck.
He's easy to spot. He's got a giant mohawk. He's covered in paint. And
Just look for the
spikes.
dude with the lit up leather jackets.
Yeah.
Easy
Yeah,
peasy.
he doesn't even. He can't even hide at night now. He's
Yeah,
lighting, yeah.
Could you imagine if you ever got in some shit and he had to like run?
Follow that Tron motherfucker.
So the place where I had my bar in the basement. of Blackpool-
Sorry, Jennifer.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
all right. Now
Bringing
it's
it
called the
back.
Super
Bring it
Secret
back to the tiki
Subatomic
bar.
Subatomic.
Cocktail bar, and I had like a little web page,
Oh my
a
God.
little Facebook page
It had
for
its
it. and you
own
can
like.
She
Oh,
had
yeah,
nights. She had
yeah.
nights.
I had like a few parties, like birthday parties.
What was the name of the thing that the night that you had that Eric Schrader mentioned a few months ago? Something that you used to throw.
Oh,
often.
it was the super secret subatomic cocktail bar, and it was just like
Super-
everything was all
super
50s vintage, and
Tonic.
I stocked it.
Can you say that
Kinda
again?
tiki.
Supersonic.
Super secret
Super
subatomic
Secret
subatomic cocktail bar.
which is the name of our second album. So look for that.
But if you Facebook search, I can add you as a friend of the. I need to revive it. But
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
kinda
we need to
like-
start throwing parties.
Yeah. But that place was cool. I had pink
Gatherings.
carpet, green sofa, the little bar, and I
Yeah, the
stocked
plague's
it.
over. We can have people like,
Yeah, I
to our
know.
places again.
Yeah, I just don't have a basement. It was really nice having that basement. I
Travis,
had a
maybe
full
you'll have to
basement.
throw one. You guys could throw one, then we'll throw one, then you throw one, we throw one. If you're gonna get the tiki bar, you've got to like
With
make
great
sure-
bars come great
make
responsibilities.
exactly with great bars come great responsibilities. And if you're gonna inherit this,
Did-
you're gonna have to throw some parties. So,
Did anybody else like?
And we expect the bar to light up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, if your
Yeah,
jacket
I
lights
mean,
up, your bar better light up too.
LEDs are the bomb, dude. So
Yeah.
get the strips.
I-
Couldn't live without them.
When you say plague, were you talking about COVID?
plague?
Yeah.
I think he was talking about
it's the same
the
thing.
Oh, okay.
the black plague. I think he's talking about bubonic.
Remember that thing
Bad-
where we
the
all stayed
bubonic.
inside for 2
See,
years?
I got
Black pustules
COVID
bursting
before anybody else did, and then I got COVID after everybody else did. It
Yeah.
was like the
You
whole in
bookended it.
between.
You bookended
The
it.
whole in
Yeah.
between. Like I literally did not get it. I didn't think I was gonna get it again, and then proven wrong. Oh man, these are a lot.
I
of
try not
comments.
to-
beyond LED. So what is it? That
It was
you're
just not
using,
the greatest
Nathan-
plague that we've ever had.
Travis?
We've had better
If
plagues.
it's
as a-
not LED.
Oh yeah,
strips.
for sure.
as a human
When's the
race.
last time there was a demo? Just kidding. You're like, fuck
Are you into
off.
fog machines? I
When's
think
the
there
last
needs to be
time there was
fog
a
machine in your
repub?
tiki bar? We have one we can loan, but we're not giving that away with the
fog
bar.
machines? Wow,
Fog
he's
machines.
really going out.
Actually, the fog machine, we loaned our fog machine to Tufty for a tonic ball this year because his wasn't working.
So it's known, right, that Radio has the bar from the old Planet Hollywood.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I love
Really
that.
is. I did not
Yes.
know
Yep,
that.
yep.
Like,
I
okay,
did
because
not
I
know
remember when
that.
Planet Hollywood was being demoed, and then Radio was built right afterwards, and the bar looked very similar. And I asked Tufty, and apparently he knew the guy that was doing the demo. Of
He knows
Planet
everybody.
Hollywood. But yeah,
Yes,
I
he
just had to
does.
point that out because Planet Hollywood lasted what, maybe 6 months,
Yeah.
and
that was
Radio
a
has
short-lived-
lasted like over
20 something years. It's
So
bad.
thank you, Hollywood, for giving us a great bar for one of our favorite like venues.
Didn't Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger and the dude from
Chris
Willis.
Farley
Die Hard,
came and
Die
opened
Hard.
it.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce
Chris
Willis.
Farley came and opened it.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was here for the Indianapolis opening.
How soon before his death? Do you think?
It was when he was on the way down.
Yeah, of course, because he was here at the Planet Hollywood doing.
He was in
opening.
Indianapolis opening
Right,
a
yeah,
Planet
but if
Hollywood.
that's not on your
How
way
close
down,
to
I'm
you?
not sure what is.
I'm sure
So,
death was right next door.
yeah, I'd be curious to see what the date. How maybe that's what did him in.
Me and a bunch of my punk friends pushed our way into Planet Hollywood.
I never
We
went.
pushed our way when there was a line all the way to the front, and then we told them we were in a band, and they said they didn't recognize us. And we said, "Do you think we would dress this way if we weren't in a fucking band?" And they just took it as like cool and sat us down before everybody else. And it was hilarious. They thought we were like the next thing. There was literally like a 2-hour wait, and we're like, "We're not waiting." And they're like, "What do you mean? We're covered in spikes and our leather jackets."
Oh
We're like,
my
"We're
god!
a famous fucking punk band. We want in now." And they're like, "Well, stand at the bar." And then as soon as the next table was available, they sat us down.
Did they sit you someplace where, like, when people walk by, they would recognize you?
Yeah, they set us like
man.
in the middle of the whole.
Yeah, of course they
restaurant,
did,
yeah.
because you were famous.
And we were just jerks. It was literally me and the Bridge Kids. It was like Athrite and John and Jason Wagner and like those guys. We were like, Planet Hollywood exists.
I'm wearing the right hat.
My sister had a car, so we were like mobile for a while. They were like, where can we go that's not Broad Ripple to fuck shit up? Because we were fucking too much shit up in Broad Ripple. So they wanted to be extra Indianapolis at that point.
What's that other
Hard Rock
famous-
Cafe?
Yeah, does that still exist?
Did we ever?
I don't
We
know.
had
I
a
think
Hard
it's-
Rock.
Yeah, we
had-
did. Isn't it still there?
I think it might be.
It's just no one goes there.
Well, no one cool goes there. Well,
Oh,
no one actually
With
cool
money,
goes
with
there.
only people with money.
Like,
Uh-huh.
if you're at a convention, you go to the Hard Rock.
You know what Indianapolis should have, but never has?
Oh.
A House of Blues. Why not?
Yeah, we should.
Right?
I mean, there's a great House of Blues right in the corner in
Slippery
New
Noodle?
Orleans.
The Slippery Noodle is literally the reason we never got a House of Blues.
That
Probably.
is.
It's better than a House of
It
Blues.
is way better than a House of Blues. It's actually a genuine blues bar. Oldest bar in the city, from my understanding.
Longest.
This longest running.
Well, it's right there on
longest
the corner of the original
owner
boundaries,
operated
which were North
until,
Street, South Street.
the
East
Mel's
Street, and West
second or
Street.
something, right? Like
Well,
30
technically, now that the owner of Slippery Needle passed away, now they are Rob and Dave, longest owned operated.
Oh,
bar.
so they're the longest operators, or the
owner operated.
but
So what's the Slippery,
Slippery
Noodle?
Noodle,
owned by
but
a
Slippery
group
Noodle's
now?
what?
I don't know who probably left to his
But
child or grandchild.
constantly run as a bar, though. I think the Slippery Noodle. I can't remember what year it started, but Mel's 33, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
Mel's 33. But I don't.
Sorry.
my understanding
Let
was
me
that they
be
were
very
second.
clear in my statement. Owner
No, I get that.
operated.
I get.
Meaning the person that owns it has operated it for the longest period of time.
Right, I get that. My point is, what year did?
But like, yeah, the noodle.
The
opened
noodle
We
in,
could
like,
talk
start
about
the
how old the
1800s
land
or
is
something,
and try to
right?
figure out
not the
what land is older.
The
It's-
land
but
is
it was a
4.5 billion years old.
I
That's
mean,
a-
it was a bar back when Indianapolis
4.5
started out.
billion.
That's what they say. The planet's ages.
I'm pretty sure it was a bar since like the 1800s, probably.
It was.
It's probably been there as long as Stout Shoes has been on Mass Ave, like 1882.
Are there any bars? I mean, I really don't. I mean, I've heard that the Mel's second oldest, but
Finally, someone smart enough to grab a phone and Google it.
Yeah,
I think that was supposed to be my job, right? Googling things.
Well,
Jennifer's way better at my job than I am.
Yeah,
I think that you need to. I think that you've just been ousted.
Here's the thing.
All
I
of
just
my,
talk. I don't know what I'm doing. I just talk.
That's
Oh.
why we're here,
Fact
because we
checking.
don't either. So
All of
Very
my
important.
electronic items are being used. As
When was the
cameras.
Slippery Noodles founded? Now
yeah,
we
somebody
need
look
to
it up.
know.
I mean, we're talking.
Let's see.
Someone
My
else look it up and,
computer.
like,
That's
tell us.
that's this
Very
camera.
nice.
Okay. Here's my old
That's you.
iPhone,
That's the.
that
room.
is my bad
2020.
side right here. Look at this. It's a
Okay.
terrible side. Like,
and this right here. That's my tab.
That's me.
Peter, can you move your mic down? We can't see your pretty face.
That's why I was moving my mic earlier because I was looking at it in the
And then
picture and I'm
this
like,
right
man,
here
my
is
face
my actual cell phone, my iPhone 13 Pro.
There we go.
Fuck if I know.
It's,
Anyways, Pro
cameras.
Max. There it is. There.
Word.
Yeah.
so
Anyway,
maybe it's
all
better
of my
if
shit's in
the
use.
microphone's
Without
like right
Polly
in
here,
front of my
there's
face.
basic. We're down camera. So this is usually where we start talking about drugs.
Oh, drugs.
Is it what hour are we at?
Just
what
drugs
minutes are
or
we
altered
at?
states.
In general,
Ooh,
I like to go with
altered
my
states.
first favorite question to ask when we speak of drugs is, Mike Menke, tell us about your best hallucinogenic experience.
Ooh. It wasn't.
And if you
on-
choose not to say,
no,
that is perfectly fine.
I will not deny nor confirm, but from my recollection, I will best. I mean, I don't know how do you describe best,
I
but
can.
best you can describe the best. I will say this.
Just yeah, like your favorite story to tell.
Okay,
Good,
okay,
bad,
okay.
happy or sad,
I have two to tell.
ugly or beautiful.
One on one hallucinogen, another on another hallucinogen. The first one that pops into my head though, my friend Jerry was living in Chicago, went to high school with him. He was on here earlier commenting. He came down for a wedding of some friends of mine, and we went over to. I was living in Irvington at the time. Lived there for 10 years when I worked at Lilly. And went over to this dude's house who always had weed. He always had nitrous balloons, and this night he had a dropper full of acid. So anyway, we did some nitrous balloons, hung out there, and then we went to the mill after he dropped a couple on each of our tongues. So I remember driving to up Emerson from Irvington towards the mill, and my car, it felt like I was in a boat on waves. It was like so I remember that, and then but no visual really, just that sensation. And then we get to the mill, and I've been going there for a while. I can't remember what year this was exactly, but Nicole was still the bartending there, and she was dating Joe, and Joe was at the door, and I said to him, I'm tripping on acid. And he's like, there's no way, man. I can't tell. So that's one story. And then the other time we went up to a show with up in Logansport. There was a show up there. Pravada went up there and some other people. I can't remember who all went, but and we did shrooms there, and it was in the country where we were at, and there was like a horse behind a fence or whatever, and the horse comes up, and I've like bonded with the damn horse like cosmically or something. It was
Oh yeah.
there was no like visual trippy part of it, but I felt the horse comes up to the.
Where are you going with this,
The
man?
horse comes up to the fence, and I felt a like spiritual connection with a damn horse. That's my point.
Like
I guess.
you could understand
That was
the
my
horse?
no, but like
What's his name, Mr. Ed?
he did not tap
Was
his
he in
feet
black
and
and white?
count. Well, it was dark out, so most things are in black and white when it's
That's-
dark out.
All right, so you were cosmically connected to this horse.
Well, maybe not, but I felt it.
Okay.
Because aren't we all cosmically connected in some way, shape, or form?
Agreed,
We're all
yes,
stardust,
yes,
right?
for
So
sure.
He's another stardust
Agreed.
animal.
I agree.
Yes,
So
I feel
those
cosmically
are my
connected to all of you.
the two stories that I can recall of nothing that spectacular though. Probably I apologize for
The horse, though, it had a significance to you when it walked up.
well, because here's the thing. Initially, when I walked up to the fence, the horse was pretty far away, and you could
Right.
hear it. It's dark out, right?
Yeah.
You could hear it, and then eventually the horse like makes its way towards the fence. And he's like right in my fucking face.
Like, what the fuck are you
And
doing?
but he wasn't aggressive or anything. He was just like,
Hey, bro,
what's
you've been
up,
standing
dude?
by my
Right, you've been
fence for a
standing by my
while.
fence for a while. I'm gonna come up and like see you closer because it's dark out.
And then he was like, your eyes look like saucers, bro.
If he could say something, that might have been the statement that popped out of his mouth.
That's the look he gave you.
I think though that he Mr. Edited it in Morse code, but I didn't recognize it.
Mr. Edit it.
He used that psychic acid telepathy.
Yeah,
Mr.
right.
Edit it.
Yeah.
Edited it.
Oh, the
You
Noodle
gotta-
Days. Wayne Birch says the Noodle Days 1850.
1850, and it was called the Tremont House or something
Oh,
at
wow.
first. It was a roadhouse, which
Oh.
meant that
That-
people on wagon would stop by to wet their whistles.
Patrick Swayze worked
Patrick Swayze worked there. He's always just
He
say the
solved
same
everything
thing.
with a roundhouse.
there.
Wow.
Jennifer, would you like to
I
chime
thought the
in?
Karate Kid solved
on-
things with roundhouses. Is that not?
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Oh man.
That was a crane kick.
Oh, crane kick. That's right. That's a
Oh,
crane.
man.
Yeah, he wasn't much of a roundhouse. He was a crane kicker.
Sweep the
Yeah.
leg.
Oh, I did my first hit of LSD.
Oh,
I
do
think
we
I was
get
a
it?
senior in high school,
Ooh.
and
That's
I
a good
bought it.
time.
I bought it blotter acid and Broad Ripple, and
Hell yeah,
I was
blotter acid
staying with
from
my
Broad
best
Ripple.
friend. So I wasn't at my parents' house, but I just remember like my friend was getting weird phone calls from skater boys, and they were talking about like really weird shit, like skulls and things. And
Wow, skater
Oh,
boys
no.
and skulls.
Those
Skater
fucking
boys
skater
calling,
boys.
talking about the skulls, calling all
Man,
the
this-
girls.
like,
yeah,
so
yeah.
far.
I don't know if
Nothing
she
attracts
told
a
him-
girl like
I
a
don't
skater
know
boy
if she
talking
was
about
on it
skulls.
too. I
I
don't know
mean-
if she was on this. on
Did
the
you
stuff.
did you hear Avril Lavigne's cover of "I Want Your Skulls"? Was it that good of LSD?
In
She
the
pre-heard
future.
it. She
She
pre-heard
heard
it.
it from the
She
future.
pre-heard it. She was the
We
inspiration behind the
listened to a lot
writing
of
of.
Misfits back then, and that's pretty trippy stuff. Yeah, and then like I just remember like thinking there was like nuclear war going on outside,
Sweet.
like atom bombs.
yeah, LSD does tend to bring up that anxiety level.
Oh,
a
it was a total.
speedy.
It was
It's
not.
real
Yeah, it was
speedy.
probably
Yeah.
cut with a lot of speed or whatever. I mean, it was
Yeah,
blotter
I'm
acid.
sure that it was. Yeah, that's the thing. I think that whatever I like the night that I was telling you about with my friend Jerry, where I did the acid. The next day, I think that it was laced with speed because the thing that I remember actually most about that entire experience was not being able to sleep for 2 days.
Sometimes it's cut with
No,
rat poison
no
too.
visual
Dude,
really.
Some strychnine.
In
So I
my-
don't think it was really
There's some
acid.
meat.
Maybe.
In my
Yeah.
lifetime, I have never done a drug that was laced with anything.
How do you know?
that you know of.
I just know it. I could feel it deep down
Right.
in my
So
groin.
you've
Then I
had it. You've
remember-
had it analyzed via GCMS.
Yeah, he puts it through
I
a
am-
spectrum.
Yes,
I,
yeah,
I am
yeah.
GCMS.
He's had mass spec done on every molecule he's ever put in his body.
He
and
buys
knows
two-
Every
for sure
time
it's
I've
not
done
contaminated with
LSD, it's been
anything.
pure LSD, guys.
I don't know
Straight
though.
from
Maybe
Sandoz
Speedy, but
Laboratories.
Says who?
I
Says
had that effect
who?
common on LSD though, that it kept me up for days. I've definitely like some people will like peak on LSD and like go up and then come down, and I've noticed some people will just keep going up. Like as long as they stay awake, it keeps ramping up.
And
Just
then
things
I,
I've noticed amongst the hundreds of thousands of people I've done LSD with.
I would
then I
say
turned on the record player and I just heard the sound going. The turntable was going. And it took me like an hour of me listening to this. Oh, this is the Cult Electric album.
but it didn't sound like it when you first started listening.
No, it was like. I mean, I
There
don't
was
know
a
what the
dragon
grooves
popping
were
out of that
doing,
album. Dragon popping out of that album, fire breathing.
Yeah, but and then I did it sporadically during my college years, but usually just weird.
I was a late drug bloomer.
You were.
I was. I didn't buy my first
But
weed
I
until
knew
I was
like
34.
cats who were doing like dosing every day and or nearly every day, but I would do it sporadically. And then it was like it just too much anxiety, but I did get the pretty visuals, towards the end of the
wanted to
trip.
experience the visuals.
You have to close your eyes, you have to kind of go within.
Yeah, I was in a group.
I
I was hoping to see like people's
turn
faces turn
on,
into dragons.
tune
Like
out, tune in, kind of.
what is that movie with Johnny Depp?
Fear and Loathing. In
Yeah,
Las
I was hoping to
Vegas?
see shit like that. That's what I was hoping for, but none of that happened.
I was like, wait a minute.
What?
he-
None of that happened.
But
You're talking about
I
Sleepy
even drove
Hollow?
around,
I'm talking
yeah.
about Sleepy Hollow. None of that happened either. So it just it was kind of disappointing in that sense for me. I think it was laced with speed.
It
So
made
you
me-
did it like how many times?
I've only done it a couple times
Yeah.
actually, and it's probably never been. Well, I think the dropper was real. The dropper was real. When the car felt like I was driving a boat on waves, that was pretty cool actually. So, but no visuals.
Jennifer, you were saying?
Oh, I
Sorry.
don't know. I mean, me and my friends. Well, I had a friend, like the three of us, we would dose, and then we would walk around Bloomington, and just walk around the buildings, and cats would follow us, and then we'd run
Is
into
that
weird people.
you're
I mean,
you're
it was
talking
like a
about
really,
Bloomington, Illinois?
No, Bloomington, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
She lived in Martinsville, but hung out in Bloomington before she went to school there.
Yeah, but this was during college, and we just walk around all night, and drop in to see friends, and actually, one time we dropped in.
Dropped in or dropped out?
Yeah, we dropped into these guys were sitting around watching Where the Buffalo Roam.
Oh yeah, Bill Murray.
Yeah,
I love
and
Bill
then
Murray.
we'd
Another
go back
Hunter,
and listen to
Hunter
records.
Thompson reference.
But sometimes it was calm. You'd sit and watch the lava lamp and relax. There were different contexts, different drug experiences. But
Hell yeah.
So, Shep, are there any comments popping up that are interesting?
Yeah, I've been popping them up on the screen.
I'm just curious.
Yeah. Let's see. What? I heard something.
Sasquatch.
Phil Keller
Sasquatch.
said, "I've had those ramp ups, mostly really great moments with visuals and looking at stars.
I want the visual.
See, LSD for me has always been a roller coaster, so it'd be cool, and then and like when you go up, I'm just like, okay, stand still, focus,
Exactly.
enjoy the ride.
Exactly.
And
That's
then
what
as
you
soon as
have
I
to
come
do.
down, I'm like, all right, back to it.
yeah,
Especially if I'm at a show or playing a show.
yeah.
In those experiences, so
But I love
Speaking of
tripping
shows-
mushrooms and playing music. That's a lot
you
of
can
fun.
collect some information on that one.
That's a lot of fun. I've done that.
You would
few
not know
times.
if I was on LSD. I could literally do this podcast. You would not know the difference.
That's what happened to
Right.
me at the mill. I walk in the mill, they're like, I could never tell that you were on it because I guess I'm kind of in control-ish,
Yep.
or at least pretend well.
As one of my favorite people in the world likes to say, Shep, why are you wasting your money on hallucinogenics?
You're already there, dude.
And
Pretty
those are
much.
the only drugs I would do.
Yeah, I mean,
I've had some profound
Weed
experiences on
is-
different psychedelics.
Yeah.
I've done medical grade DMT over 40 times.
Dude,
Wow.
I've done
DMT is-
ayahuasca, yage. I've done mescaline.
is ayahuasca the best DMT experience?
No, straight DMT is the best DMT.
I thought it
I-
didn't
I
absorb
would've-
though.
I
It
was
doesn't
thinking
absorb
that
though
when
without the.
You can
Yeah.
vape it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, you can vape it without an MEO5.
Oh,
Yeah.
So how long does the vaping?
15
DMT
minutes.
That's awesome.
That's
actually, and
it.
then it's done, and
And
you're-
it's a complete separation of your body.
yeah, you enter the universe.
You
the
go
larger-
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Everyone I've ever experimented with reported going to a completely different dimension or a completely different place. Every time I've ever done it, you know that like Mode 7 from like Super Nintendo? You remember Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
And how the graphics would kind of like fade away and you'd see them just kind of like shrink away sometimes. And they were like, oh, it's like things are, I would see the world disappear that way, like every time, and it would pull me into something else.
I want to experience that. I
And
do.
we actually, it's funny that you talk about working at Eli Lilly,
Yeah.
because the way we got our DMT 20 years ago, when it was still not Schedule 1,
Right.
was my friend's parents were research scientists who worked at Eli Lilly. So we used their home address and ordered a 5 grams, and they delivered it. And there was no questions asked. The chemical manufacturer made it at 99.999%.
Oh wow, yeah, that's when you know you have the real shit.
and sent it to us. He intercepted the package and we had it. And you
Yeah,
only
so
have
you-
to do a couple like 15 to 45
right.
milligrams.
So you had a certificate analysis and everything. It was like from
We
Sigma
probably used
Chemical
that
or
stuff for-
something.
yeah,
from
we prob-
Fisher or somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it had an MSD.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Of course. MSD is sheet and yeah, certificate of
It was like
analysis
perfect
and-
white granules.
Yeah. Well,
used to-
that's what happens when you get it from synthetic organic chemists who make it.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And then we proceeded to dose Indianapolis on anyone who was brave enough to take it.
Wow.
We would go to Greg's house parties.
You were
and give to
vaping it then?
people.
You couldn't have vaped it then.
So the way we would do it then was we would, how like when you pack cigarettes, you get
Yeah.
that little extra space of paper at the end.
yeah.
We would drop 15 to 45 milligrams into the end of the cigarette and then twist it shut. And then our instructions would be like, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to hit the cigarette. You're going to hit the cigarette the hardest you've ever hit a cigarette.
Oh wow.
You're going to pull all of it into your lungs, and then we'll take care of you after that.
Oh.
And people would be like, "What do you mean?" And be like, "Well, don't worry. If you can, try to get the cigarette to the ashtray, but you won't, and we will. Don't worry about it.
Oh, God.
And you'll come back 15 minutes later and tell us where you went."
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to do.
So
It's like a party game.
It was. We
Yeah.
loved it. It was fun just to see. It was so random, the things that people would like say they encountered. Like I know a lot of people say that DMT is always the machine elves that Joe Rogan like explains.
Yeah.
But what we were getting back in reports were just completely random. It was not like there was no sort of running theme to where they were going. They were just going
Somewhere.
off into some oblivion that was definitely of their own creation.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Pretty good stuff. Loved it.
Dimethyltryptamine.
It's amazing. And then our brains make it all on their own.
Well, and so does every plant, every even bacteria make DMT. Every living thing makes DMT, small amounts of DMT.
Right.
Yep. It's an essential
It's
molecule.
the dream.
It's the guy.
Well, a lot of people are starting to say that it might be the gateway towards death.
Interesting.
Like as a full serotonin dump and a full DMT dump when you're dying.
That makes sense.
Hmm.
That makes sense.
I mean,
And
it
maybe-
definitely explains a lot of near-death experiences.
And maybe oxytocin too.
Mike, have you ever
Oxytocin, and
you ever done ecstasy, or the kids call it Molly nowadays?
Yeah, I have tried it.
MDMA?
Yeah, I have tried it a long time ago. And then once,
What was it called at that time?
I think it was just ecstasy.
Ecstasy. That
Yeah, it was just ecstasy.
What
The first time
is there anything?
the first time I
crazy
did it was
experience
after it was the first time was the year that my son was born, so in 2001. It was at the Stutz they have an art opening for like 3 days or whatever, and they have bands play all over the place, and so we were one of the bands that played that. That's actually where I met Nicole. That's why I started going to the Mel, actually, because Nicole now Cummins was her maiden name, but now she's married to Doug Perdue, so Perdue's her last name. But anyway, she booked that thing before she worked at the Mel, before Rob and Dave took over the Mel. She booked that thing and booked us, and at the after party they had some ecstasy, and that was the first time I tried it. It was interesting. It was speedy. I don't remember feeling like deep love for everyone around me necessarily, but then the only other time I'd ever tried it, I was in New Orleans during Mardi Gras and had some, but it gave me a really bad headache, so I don't think it was real.
Were you drinking any water?
Probably not.
That's probably why you had a headache. I'm glad you're still with us.
People get very dehydrated on MDMA.
Yeah, maybe that was the issue. Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
Jennifer, any nope,
Never tried it.
never tried it.
Nope.
Peter Graves.
I used to hit that shit at raves when I was listening to my favorite DJ from Indianapolis. He doesn't live here anymore, but DJ Incubus. He was actually married
Nicole
to
is awesome, by the
Gwen
way,
from
you're
Lunar
right.
Event. Do you ever remember Lunar Event?
Yeah, Lunar Event. Yeah, of course.
They were fucking amazing.
Yeah.
God.
They became
So
Red
she
Light
was
Driver.
She was married to the DJ. Adam was his name. DJ Incubus. So I would go to like raves at like remember the Purple Underground?
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
That was the first place I ever went to a show and realized there were bands in Indianapolis, the Purple Underground.
Yeah. Oh no, Smedley's was amazing.
Yeah, Smedley's was yeah.
He was a great guy. And then Festivila afterwards.
yeah.
Had some great shows.
Always dressed like the Joker.
But yeah, I would
Purple outfit.
drop Molly down there and listen to some fun EBM. I used to like just stand while people were like dancing around me. I'd wear like a gas mask and a black hoodie, and all these like candy kids would be like dancing around me all the time.
With all the
Wow.
bright lights and shit.
Right. But Adam was really good. He played like a version of like Miami breakbeat, and like it was not something I could hear around here. So yeah, I put up with the rave kids to listen to it.
Festivia.
Yeah, when I did ecstasy back in the day, I haven't done MDMA. I mean, I have in recent years, but
I prefer.
I went
weed,
a
by the way.
long,
Everyone should just smoke
long
weed
time
and
without
be
doing
done
it.
with anything else.
But,
honestly.
There's so many
No,
weed products now.
I'd always-
DMT sounds
I'd always
fun,
done it in
man.
party settings, basically, and
Yeah.
for whatever, I don't know why this was a thing, but this is kind of what reminded me of it. So basically, those Vicks nasal
Oh yeah.
things,
Yeah.
oh my god, So what they
and
would
roll
do,
in, and then you'd hit that shit.
oh
and
no,
that
bruh.
effervescence would just clean your soul out.
So much. What I'm about to tell you is gonna sound so fucking weird. It's almost like I had to show you. So what
Go
we
ahead,
would do?
admit it.
Is there
Tell us what you did.
There's a visual? Is there
We
a
put
visual?
it up our butts.
Are you gonna
Nah.
pantomime it? Are you gonna pantomime it?
No, but no. So what we do is, all right. So somebody would stand up. The person. Okay.
We already know
So-
what he's gonna say,
So
right?
you'd stand up against the wall.
Okay.
Okay. And what you would do is stand there and you would take your biggest, like, deepest breath, and somebody else would push on your chest as hard as they can, right? And
Sounds
while
safe.
you're breathing in this biggest, deepest breath, Mike Menke,
Sorry.
how
Go,
triple
go.
dog
Sorry.
dare
Go.
you?
Violation.
Wow.
Keep
Wow.
going.
So pushing on your chest, you're not able to breathe.
Right. So
They're
yeah,
shoving Vicks
as you're
vapor rub
breathing
in
in
your
as hard as you
face.
can, and the same person is the person in front of you is pushing on your chest as hard as they can.
Right.
And as you're breathing in, they have that nasal thing backwards, and they're blowing it into your lungs, right?
Yeah.
And then you hold it for as long as you can, and simultaneously, as they let off their hands from your chest, you exhale.
Whoa.
And bruh, woo! I'll tell you right now, it's like you drop to the ground and you're just like
Wow.
pure ecstasy.
So all the 16 to 18-year-olds out there that are wondering how to spend the night tonight,
It's under a bridge.
Kids, do
Under
not
a bridge
prejudge.
with
Under a bridge
ecstasy
doing ecstasy.
while strangling each other with Vicks vapor
If there
rub in your
if
mouth.
there's anybody under the age of 18 watching this show, first of all, A,
Go home.
don't do drugs. B,
Don't do drugs.
Stop watching this show.
Except we.
Turn it off. Do not watch it. One of these days, Facebook or somebody's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
I cannot believe that these people are proponents of.
We're
These
safe on
molecules-
YouTube. We're safe
Man,
on
they let-
YouTube, but we're definitely not in the clear on Facebook.
They let Kardashians use social media. I think we're fine.
Yeah,
Dude, Donald Trump gets up and is snorting whatever the fuck he's snorting, and Donald Jr. is snorting too on fucking national TV with his eyes. And come on,
they're all lizards. Don't
they're
worry.
all lizards.
Living in the flat, hollow earth.
But yeah, that's my little ecstasy story. I swore
guys
it off.
used
I
to
swore I'd never do it
Push
again.
the breath out of each other.
Swore I'd never do it
and
again, and then I
blow
did
Vicks
it
vapor
one
rub in your
time,
face. That sounds incredible.
one time since then, and it was this time like it was a massive amount, and it was like it wasn't a little pill, it was crystal form,
Oof.
and it
I
was
don't know if
enough.
I'd trust that to be MDMA at that point. If it was just
Who
a crystal
knows?
form.
It
It's
was
like,
pure
is this
though.
a hand-
It was not
something, it was
laced.
pure
Is this
something.
PCP? Is this whatever? I'll just
I-
throw it all in my
I didn't have
face.
any visuals at all. It was all like
Yeah.
fucking
Does MDMA
religious
give
as
you,
a motherfucker.
Does MDMA give you visuals?
I've heard of people
Uh,
observing the walls as our breathing situation
No.
on MDMA, but I've never heard of anyone getting full on like
Seeing the lizard
replaced.
people.
Yeah, replaced
real lizard people.
visuals.
oh man.
So do you think? I mean, so all right. So string theory says that there's 11 dimensions. That's
Are
what
we
they
getting
say.
the quantum by?
Yeah, we just went quantum.
We just went there because
I'm with you.
because
Go
I
on.
think that my guess is that when you're doing, there are 11 dimensions that are, we live in space time 4. That's how we experience everything, right? But there's 7 other ones going on around you at all times you're not aware of that have always been there in all of the universe. And you access those just like the fucking shaman with DMT or whatever. I mean, that's
Okay.
what I mean. That's you're accessing the other shit that's going on around you that you don't see because your senses don't perceive them when you're on that stuff.
I actually had an experience with something like that on
That's what I
LSD.
think may be going on. I don't know.
So like I was
You're-
on 8 triple dropped microdots when I destroyed the space-time continuum.
Mhm.
And I kept noticing these hiccups in conversation. Like anytime there was an if-then situation, like a yes or no situation. And so long story short, what happened was I kept concentrating anytime those situations came up, and eventually it split and I was able to follow the yes and the no. And then I was able to jump back and forth between them. And then there were more splinters of situations where I would have had to do one or another thing.
multiverse.
So basically,
experience.
every time I came to a situation where I had to do yes or no or an if-then situation, I was able to watch both situations instead of just one.
Whoa!
And by the time I was done 2 days later, I was keeping track of about 128 different moving situations.
Oh.
And I fell asleep in all of them at the
So
same time.
you can see the multiverse, your multiverse of opportunities all at once. And
You know what's crazy that I take with that the most? It was in a hexagram format. It was like in a hexagon. There was like a beehive. Like the reality, the way they were interlinked was like a beehive shape.
Oh wow.
But I was able to like pull out and
So it's the
literally
universe-
observe all of them and then jump back into the one I wanted to.
Do you think the
Wow.
universe is based on a hexagonal beehive? I mean, the
I
bees
think
make
isn't the
hexagons for
I
a
Ching
reason.
also based on hexagonal?
It's the
math,
most
too?
stable. It's the most stable of all geometric. I mean,
Right.
that's the reason the bees chose it. They didn't choose.
So what I
circles.
think is like our ego just follows like one path,
yeah,
but I think all paths are happening.
they are. That's the multiverse.
Like all
I mean,
my paths
everything
are
is-
happening, all your paths are happening.
Every choice you make is a choice that you make within the multiverse that takes you down whatever path it is that your life is. But that all the other options that you had at each of those
Right.
steps,
But see, our ego has to keep us alive, right?
of course.
So it's based on like a singularity of usness. So we're only following that one solid like line of time. But I think
Mm.
we're shedding off all these other like possible realities.
Yeah,
that are
because we didn't
happening.
experience them. We chose whatever path we chose without knowing that there were multiple paths to choose from necessarily. And that's our life. Our life is the path that we chose.
That's like the biggest lesson I took away from
Yeah, it's-
psychedelics.
That's a great lesson.
Amen.
I think it's all happening at once. I think
It-
every yes and no is going on
time
at
is an
once.
illusion. It goes backwards.
We
and
just
forwards all
we
the
have these
time.
organs that we are only able to put together reality in like a linear
Exactly.
fashion.
Exactly. We only have a limited amount
also
of
bred.
perceptions.
Just a little bit.
Wibbly wobbly,
Little
timey
bit.
wimey.
The sun comes
Yeah, and
down.
Jeanette
the
is
sun
right.
goes up.
Jeanette is right. Time is not linear.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you want Thanos? Because this is how you get Thanos. I do not have any of the like magic stones or whatever those things are.
The Infinity
I'm gonna
Stones.
The
take a
Infinity
shot.
Stones. I
Does anybody
don't.
want to take a shot with me? Shot?
All right. Well, you have glasses, shot glasses. I mean, I've got like little
Well,
silver goblets.
there you go. Here.
Oh, I mean, a drink.
You want that?
All right.
Ah,
All right. What is it?
I was hanging out with a really
benchmark.
cool goth girl that
Benchmark.
introduced me to a lot of
McAfee's.
art that later on went to influence me. Did you know Rose? Rose and Joe is the power couple they formed later on.
What
We used
did
to
they
call
do?
her Mama Rose. She was a super goth back in the 90s.
Oh, no, I wasn't around enough in the 90s to know anybody then. Here.
That would have been like, the Bog era productions. Remember Bog?
Mm-mm.
Gretchen,
Gretchen, I know.
Matt,
Gretchen, I know because
Mr. E.
if it's the Gretchen I'm thinking of, the Gretchen that does the
Gretchen's been
Rose
around
and
forever.
Joe.
Yeah.
Strife.
So Gretchen would do
Strife,
goth nights.
yes.
Gretchen and like
Compliments of
Sarah
Phil Keller.
Sturge and
Phil
other,
would
they would
know.
do
Phil hangs out with them too.
Gretchen and Sarah Sturge would do goth nights at the Mel.
Rose is the one who showed me the
They
Cabinet
were
of Dr.
DJ
Caligari.
Gretchen, whatever.
And then I was like, oh my God, I love German Expressionism. But yeah, she was the one who introduced me to that for sure. She had her own goth soundtrack. This was a silent film, but she would like hit play on a tape at the right moment and it was all lined up for
Do it.
Had like Bauhaus.
Take a
and-
small
I'm kidding,
one.
Jen.
A small.
Don't-
We could do a
don't
small
have
one. A small one. I took a small sip.
Good movie. Definitely should go see it. Probably the first horror film ever made.
What
Which
was
one
it
was
called?
that again?
The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Okay, I got you.
Wow, fancy
great
name. That's a
film.
fancy name. Of course, Jennifer knows it. Jennifer knows every obscure, a lot of obscure, super cool movies that are
Those
on.
German backgrounds, the expressionistic
We watched some Russian
backgrounds.
movie today. What was it called?
my
The
God.
Russian movie.
There's a actually it's very interesting that you'd say that. So Jennifer, you're a big movie buff.
Yeah.
Have you or there's
Oh.
this film, not too many people, at least
We watched some Russian movie today.
have you ever heard
What did I
there's
do with my video?
there's a film that came out in 1994 called Forrest Gump. Have you ever heard of it?
Forrest.
It's
Gump.
it's it's
Was that with
slightly unheard of.
Sure.
Not a
Was-
lot of
yeah.
people
Was
Yeah.
Dirk
went out to
Benedict?
see it.
Was he this?
It's
Was
art
this
film.
Dirk
It's a little bit
Benedict in
art.
it?
It's based on a book.
Wasn't he in Battlestar Galactica? Dirk Benedict.
There's a It stars a
Lauren
little-known
Green, Dirk
actor
Benedict.
named Tom Hanks.
Oh,
Tom Hanks.
I think I've heard of that guy.
Yeah.
wasn't he in
He's most
Actors
famous
Studio.
for his role in a film called Castaway, 2001.
Castaway, yeah. And also a TV show called Bosom
Bosom
Buddies.
Buddies? Bosom Buddies.
Oh, that was
where your career really
You
shone.
know
Bosom
what? You know
Buddies.
it's coming.
I watched that one. It was
Yeah.
actually happening. Bosom Buddies. Oh, you don't like two guys, Peter. You don't like. What was his name? Was his name Peter Graves too?
Peter
Yeah,
Graves
Peter
was an
Graves.
actor for sure. That's
Peter-
why I took the name.
So-
Well, Peter
if you
Graves.
tried to
Peter-
Google
it was-
me,
it
that
was-
would
it was
come
Pe-
up.
It was Peter
We're gonna-
Graves. It was Peter Graves and Tom Hanks. They were the Bosom Buddies, isn't it? Wasn't it Peter Graves? Am I wrong about this? Anybody?
I don't know.
There is an
Bueller-
actor that goes.
Bueller.
No, there's a character
Bueller?
named Peter Graves.
Bueller?
Right?
I
No,
think
there was an
it was a
actor.
Peter
Was it
something.
actor?
His name was Peter something. It wasn't Graves necessarily, but
Way more famous than I'll
it
ever
was
be.
Peter though. It wasn't Graves.
know,
It was
I know
Peter.
what
It
you're
wasn't
talking
Cetera either.
Dirk Benedict.
Dirk Benedict. He was on. Dirk Benedict was on.
What a name, huh?
I gotta Google.
Dude,
Well, there goes Mike.
Cumberbatch. What a name.
Mike's out. See you, Mike. He's got
right
He's
here.
got to find it. Oh, and it's back. The vape is here.
Oh,
It's
shit,
here.
I gotta pee.
That must be some strong nicotine in there.
Dude, this nicotine is 5% and it tastes like
5% nicotine, 95%
Nicotine,
piss.
nicotine.
So, Jennifer, what's your favorite film of all time? If you could, like, all right,
Just one. You have to pick the number one film of all time.
all right. So, like, literally, somebody's got a super soaker to your head, loaded.
I would say gosh, I should Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains, that's one of my favorites. That's the favorite.
Right on.
Yeah.
You got a second favorite?
Um
We're not gonna let Mike answer when he comes back. You won't even know we talked about it.
The what?
What are you talking about, Mike? What are you talking
it's
about?
a movie with
movies?
Hazel O'Connor. That's actually one of my favorite movies. And I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
Peter Graves' Airplane.
Yeah. Yeah. Striker.
Compliments of Jeanette Carey.
Oh, Breaking Glass. I cannot believe I couldn't think of it. Breaking Glass. That's my favorite
Cheers.
film with Hazel O'Connor.
Right on.
It's a great movie. I highly recommend
What
it.
about you,
Hell
Shep?
yeah.
I had to,
What's your favorite movie of all time?
I had to say Ghostbusters because it was my favorite movie when I was a kid, and it's like it built me in.
So you could put that on today and you'd still get jazzed.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still watch it and I'll quote it all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody steps on the church in my town. It's
Nice.
true. This man has no dick. The next time somebody asks if you're a god, you say yes.
That's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah. I like saying that one too. That's a good one. But yeah, I mean, there are other films that I truly like appreciate, especially for
Dollar General.
directing wise and
Dollar Store, Dollar General.
writing.
Dollar
I
Tree,
think
Dollar
probably,
Tree.
which
Dollar
is
Tree's
not
the
an
bomb.
underrated film, but it's by far not viewed in the same vision that I have. There's a reason why this poster back here is directly.
The Heath Ledger.
Yes.
Joker?
No, that's not my poster, but I janked
I
it.
should get close to you.
It's technically mine now, but
I should get closer
I
to
think
you.
that actually has some of the best writing and
Stuck
director.
in the corner.
So you like the whole Dark Knight
Maybe you was stuck in
trilogy
the
of
corner.
Christopher Nolan?
It's pretty good. First
Pretty
one was
good?
kind of a sleeper.
Nice.
The second
Something
one
like
was
that.
obviously very good.
Worth a
The
look.
third one,
Worth-
the audio engineer probably should have been fired. Can't watch that movie anywhere. It is hard to watch. The third, the Rise of the Dark Knight. Is that what it's called? I can't remember.
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
There you go. But no, there's I want to pinpoint down why I have a lot of opinion about that film, and a lot. Okay, fine. Heath Ledger was fantastic. He was,
Peter
Amazing.
Scolari.
but there is
Buddies, not
a
green.
scene in that movie where the butler what's his name? Pennywise is explaining to Wayne Birch. Wayne Birch.
Whoops. Wayne Birch was in it?
Dude, fuck it. I already said it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Wayne Birch is actually the Batman.
What? Who knew?
I'm sorry I gave you up, bro. I'm sorry I gave you up, bro. My bad.
Let's think about this. Let's take this one step further, shall we? The comic book store that he used to be co-owner of across the street from the Fountain Square Theater, during Tonic Ball, the bat signal was up against it coming from his old shop. So maybe he's Commissioner Gordon.
So yeah, Alana chimed in.
Alfred
Pennywise. There's a scene where he's basically explaining to Bruce Wayne that the story, he's telling the story about these jewel smugglers in I think Africa that were stealing these huge rubies and they were just discarding them. And he explained that basically so up the stairs, it's the go up the stairs, right? Open the door, and there's a bathroom right there on your right. It's not it's not the greatest bathroom, but it gets the job done.
You can piss in it, unlike our house.
But yeah, that whole monologue is just breathtaking to me. It was very well delivered. The whole film was just delivered very well.
Some people just want to watch the forest burn or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that guy. I remember that scene.
that that gave me goosebumps. I was like, wow, what a way to put it.
I'd like. They tried to burn him in that scene with the napalm.
Some men don't care about money or fame, blah 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 blah.
They just want to watch the world.
Yeah,
burn.
and it's like,
And then 1,000 cringy ICP fans decided that Heath Ledger was their god.
ICP fans.
Just destroyed
Ledger,
it.
Isn't that Heath Ledger right
That
there?
is Ledger.
That is, yeah, yeah.
Ledger right there.
And if you want to know the god of all the cringy guys out there that are doing horrible things to each other, it's
And we
Heath
lost
Ledger.
the camera.
Oh, good.
And it's
They took him on as their like it's
I
okay
feel like
to be
I'm like-
bad, like icon.
like I didn't sit in the right place.
Yeah, but anyways, I mean, there's a ton of movies that I absolutely love and adore, you know. But that one
Was
in
Breaking
particular,
Benjamin on your top 5? Breaking Benjamin?
the band.
No, the movie with Goldie Hawn.
I've never seen it. That's a movie.
I've seen like all of her movies, man. My biological father was like
A huge Goldie Hawn fan.
huge Goldie Hawn fan.
I think it's called Breaking Benjamin.
Nah.
Dude,
That's a band.
someone look.
That's a
No,
band.
yes, it's a band, but it was a movie title, and it was Goldie Hawn, dude.
You're probably right.
Look it up.
Might be wrong.
Look it
though.
up.
What is it
Hawn?
about? What is it about?
Fuck if I know. It was probably your worst movie. but
Private
that's why I had-
Benjamin.
He's probably talking.
Oh, Private Benjamin.
Wayne had our
I
back.
There you
apologize.
go.
Wayne had our back.
There you go.
That wasn't me. That was Wayne.
Wayne actually spelled it right too.
Yeah, Wayne got it.
Katie's Jen, it's killing me. What is the movie? What movie did we watch? Glam rock movie. My memory.
Jen is in the restroom
Katie,
at the moment.
I
Resting,
assure you, if it's a
so
glam movie, it is must.
Private Benjamin. Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely bong hits. Circa 97. It was like 93. I don't fucking know. Private Benjamin. Man.
I think that
I was
Jen
gonna
is
say Overboard with Patrick Swayze and Goldie Hawn.
Is
Which
that,
they
is that one where he
remade
gets
that.
knocked out?
Yeah,
then
and he falls off the boat or whatever.
She convinces him that
Yeah.
he was the father.
Well,
It's good.
oh my
It's
god,
good. It's a good one.
Patrick Swayze.
there was 80s movies
That's
weren't
the
problematic.
second
in
Patrick
this, like,
Swayze reference of the
Yeah,
evening.
there's something about Roadhouse.
Swayze, man, you
The
can't.
Roadhouse kick and the Patrick.
Nobody puts baby in
Swayze
the
and
corner.
Yeah, I feel like I'm baby in the corner right here. I keep dipping down towards the edge of this couch, and I cannot migrate that way. I think
Problem with-
I think I'm baby,
can't-
and this is the corner.
I can't
I'm
separate
baby,
Patrick Swayze
and
from
this is the
Trailer
corner.
Park Boys anymore, though, because they had that whole like season.
Rock of Ages. Oh, there you go.
Wait,
no, wait.
I
There was a
actually
question.
own that movie, and I bought it. I bought it because
Rock of
the,
Ages is
the
pretty
people
bad.
in the film. I was like, wow, this could be a good one, and I put it in, and within like
Tom
1
Cruise was
minute
in
of
that
it,
one.
1 minute, I realized,
This
oh,
couch
this is like
this
a
couch is
fucking musical.
People eater.
And I popped it out, and I put the DVD back in the case, and I never watched it.
Didn't
I fucking hate musicals.
oh, they're terrible.
Hate
Didn't
them.
I will say the only musical that's worth, I mean, soundtrack wise, at least I don't know that I watched it.
Shout out
necessarily.
to Conky Phil.
Annie. I remember Annie was an album we had at home too when I was a kid. So that was a huge
The
influence.
story about the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, but the vinyl, like original soundtrack from Broadway, you know, like wasn't that?
I've never been to a Broadway, by the way.
I have. I saw Tommy on Broadway. It's the only thing I
Oh,
ever
shit.
saw on Broadway. Yeah, my brother and I went when we were in New York City.
Good luck getting to me one. Get me to one. I'll
It-
never go. I won't do it.
I went. And saw, Tommy was
Can't
was
do
worth seeing.
musicals.
I also saw
Hate it.
him. I also saw him Les Miserables in London.
Actually, you know what? Get me tickets to see the Book of Mormon.
Katie had
I
a
will go
question for
watch that.
Jen. Katie had a question for Jen. Katie had a
Yes.
question for Jen. Let's go back to that if we could. Yeah, that's something.
Yeah,
with
like I
movies.
love South Park, and I watched Bigger,
What was
Longer,
the
Not Cut
movie?
a
A
lot.
glam rock
but
movie you watched?
can't watch it.
Yeah, you
anymore.
watched a glam rock movie with Katie, and she was trying to remember the name of it, but she had a brain fart.
Oh, it was probably Breaking Glass or no, Phantom of the Paradise. We were gonna watch
Both of
that.
those went right over my head.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Oh, you got to see Phantom of the Paradise.
80% of the movies that she recommends are awesome, but I've never heard of them. And
Yeah, I've never heard
It's
of it.
1 out of
I'm
5.
definitely gonna have to put that.
Dude,
on my
Not
it's-
list.
awesome.
living with her is like, you know, experiencing movies that shit from the 30s, shit from the 40s, shit from the 70s, 60s, weird ass, but super cool. I just never heard. It's like Fellini made a bunch of films in various decades and in various countries, but it wasn't Fellini.
Oh yeah, Phil.
I'm just saying, but they're awesome. I mean, I love learning about all this stuff that I had no idea existed. She's pretty badass in that sense.
Hell yeah.
amongst other senses, but that is one of them.
You ever seen the movie Jaws? Steven Spielberg's
oh,
first
yeah,
film.
my gosh,
my dad
yeah.
brough my brother and I to that. In
I was so scared to go into the
1972.
pools.
Yeah,
Peter,
Swimming
Peter,
pool.
I love that he's laughing because he knows. He knows.
Is this a lead into something else?
No, no. Did you know that?
Did you know that Jaws was a musical on Broadway
Velvet
for about 20
Goldmine.
minutes?
Wait, what?
It's a
movie?
joke.
Oh, answering
Oh,
I said
Travis.
Jaws-
Jaws,
like,
Jaws. You didn't see Jaws the musical on Broadway for 20 minutes? It was like, barely. It didn't succeed. Obviously, it was right after the Saturday Night Live skit where they had the land shark.
You know-
Remember that?
Did you know Steven Spielberg, how he got into the film industry is by sneaking into the Universal Studios lot, and at one point they were just like, "Fuck it," and just let him stay. And then eventually he got his first film with Jaws, and then he made the most expensive movie ever fucking made, way over budget. During
Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
That's right, which is like my mom's favorite movie.
That's
of all
a
time.
great
It's
movie.
one of my favorites
That
too.
is a great movie.
It's a 1-year watch. And by the way, when I bought this house, I did not realize that I lived in UFO County because
Really?
Madison County is the county. It's
Close
Muncie,
Encounter-
Indiana.
Yeah, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
That was-
So
yeah, that starts in Muncie. That's
pumpkin.
right.
that's right.
Yeah.
So I always
That's where
Love
he
you,
sees the
Katie.
first.
It
That's
was
where he
meant
sees
to be.
That's where he sees the first alien sort of red orbs flying over him at the.
By the
train-
way,
at
if you've
train track.
not seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, you must watch it. It is amazing.
Wayne says that Jaws is not Spielberg's first film.
What?
That's what he just said.
Then what was his
Hey,
first
Candy.
film?
Candy is on. Hey, Candy, how are you? Candy's a friend of mine from Houston. She and I would
I
go
am
karaokeing together.
So lost right now. How is that not his first film?
Well, who is it?
Did
Wayne.
you-
What is his
Come on,
first
Birch.
film? Is
Come
it?
on.
Come on.
Spit it.
Yeah,
We're waiting on you, baby.
Jaws does rule. John Williams. Spielberg's first
yeah.
movie is Sugarland Express. I don't even know what that
Sugar
is.
Land. Oh,
I've never even heard of
it.
I mean,
okay.
the name is familiar, but I don't know anything about it really.
All right.
Do you?
I didn't.
I don't know
Huh.
why I thought it was fucking Jaws.
It was his first big one, that's for sure.
You know what,
That was
though?
his first blockbuster for sure.
You know what, though? I always, for some reason, whenever I talk or get into film, I always want to point out something. Did you know when John Lennon died, that the entire country, the United States of America, took a moment of silence for him?
Yes, I remember that. I was there.
But when John
Oh.
Hughes died, not a motherfucker even farted. And he is probably the greatest writer, director in American
Are
history.
we getting back to Pretty in Pink?
That's
They
just
probably
one
OMG,
of them.
had a moment of silence in
OMD.
Sherman, Illinois.
I would hope.
Yeah.
But he was, I mean,
Since it doesn't
legitimately,
exist, and that's where all the
so
movies
many-
were set.
so
Yeah.
many writers and directors have, like he was their inspiration. But if you look,
John Hughes was great.
the only way,
had
like, we
great
don't have
taste in
enough time
music.
to cover the films that he's
Dong,
written
where
and
is
directed.
my automobile?
He had great taste in music too. His soundtracks are always badass.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Uh,
he nurtured.
Kevin
and
Smith says that
did
he
a
was
lot
one
of
of
it.
his inspirations.
yep. Same thing for Judd Apatow, Adam Sandler, you name it. Pretty much anybody
Hi,
in the
Candy.
comedy range.
Oh, Breakfast Club. There's a great
And if
one.
you didn't know that Judd Apatow, or however you pronounce his name, was a big time Johnny, it's like you've never even seen.
What?
16 Candles.
16 Candles. yeah.
Yeah, we just
Some
went
Kind of
black.
Wonderful.
All right, there we go.
Oh,
Signal.
16 Candles. What about Uncle Buck? What about Trains, Planes,
that-
Trains, and Automobiles?
Was that him too?
Is that John Candy's last movie?
What about
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
what about
has a great
Dutch?
scene. I didn't know that was all him.
what about Home Alone? What about Harry and the Hendersons?
I did not like
Weird
that.
Science.
Yeah, Weird Science.
We could do
That
this
chick was hot.
all day. I mean,
Kelly-
literally,
Kelly
the best
Brock.
way to figure
Yeah.
out who John Hughes is, just Google it, go to his IMDb, and you're gonna shit your fucking pants.
We just got an IMDb
it
credit
would take
last
so
Saturday.
fucking long.
Oh yeah.
I mean, his
Yeah.
list is
What
insane.
for?
There's a I don't know, it's like 5 to 8 minute per episode show that's being shot by everyone was deaf that was on the crew, even the director, I believe. At least he knew sign language. I don't know if he was deaf or not, but so there's this show basically that's apostrophe, right? That's just the name of the show. It's
Or
apostrophe.
hashtag.
Not apostrophe. Hashtag. And it's been they're
It's
at the end.
satire
They're at
of,
the end
like-
of season 1. There's a cast of characters. Not all of them are in each episode, but a friend of mine is in it and
Yeah,
invited us to
Sarah,
be
yeah.
Sarah invited us to be extras at the shooting last Saturday. Was it last
Yeah,
Saturday?
yeah.
We could go tomorrow or whatever. Not tomorrow. Anyway, so not the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Anyway, so we were there to shoot an episode at it was like a kind of a bar hangout community
Like a
center
club,
for
yeah,
like
for
for
the deaf
the Indianapolis
community.
deaf community. Yeah, it was
If they're
really
alumni
fun,
of the
actually. We had a
deaf
blast.
school.
And there's an IMDb credit because the show has IMDb credits, so we're extras.
Nice.
Yep.
So we're gonna get into the part of the show in which typically we lose quite a few viewers, but we're gonna do it anyways because
Is that where we
Is this
sing?
where you take your pants
drugs. You know what? We
We
didn't
did cover drugs. Yes.
We didn't cover sex. We'll come back to
off? We
it.
covered drugs,
Uh,
didn't we?
drugs, sex, rock and roll,
Psychedelics.
What's
at
that fourth
least.
one?
Yeah.
Paranormal.
Oh, the paranormal.
The beyond, the unknown.
That can be accessed through drugs. We already talked about that part.
That's fair. We were talking
And
quantum
has been
physics
for
earlier.
thousands of years.
Yeah, exactly.
Mike, you got anything?
You wanted about like aliens or
Whatever. The
Aliens.
Any
I
weird
wanna know
experiences?
aliens.
Okay, so I was thinking about this earlier today because I knew this question would probably arise. So there are 3 times in my life that I've had close encounters of some kind. Never of the third.
They like
though.
you 3
Never,
times?
never the third. Never the third. I've never met one. But the first time I was a kid,
Hey, if that's the third kind, what's the fourth?
that's where you like go out and have a beer with them and see a show. I think.
Have
That's
you
the
ever seen
fourth
the movie
kind.
That's the
Flight
fifth.
of the Intruder? That's fourth
Yes.
kind. You get inside of them.
Okay, so 3 experiences. The first, I'm not sure exactly how old, but I was a kid and we were living in Hobart and I was in my bedroom and it was, I got up late at night and I'm not exactly sure. I was really young, but I remember seeing something like in my neighbor's yard next door, otherworldly. But it's a super vague memory. Then the next time was I was maybe I'd married a couple years, so this is maybe like 92, 93. We went to a tailgate at IU and at a football game. Didn't really go into the game, but this guy was there's not a cloud in the damn sky, and there are 5 fucking discs floating around. Everybody saw the damn thing. I was the first to notice, but then for fucking a half an hour, we're all watching these 5 discs like way up there, but they were just white little dots moving around like that, and then they would just stick for a few minutes, and then they go weird. Everybody saw it.
Where were you?
Broad daylight in the fucking parking lot of the IU football stadium.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, we were
Multiple
tailgating.
people saw this.
Yes, yeah, multiple scientists from Lilly
Would
saw
you say
this.
they were orb-like?
They were orb-like, but they were really high up, really high up. They were far away.
Like a white spot?
White spots. They were like 5 white spots, and they moved around. And
Yeah,
for like half
those
hour,
are the ones the Pentagon
they
said are real.
they weren't drifting in any direction. They were just like moving very quickly and then stopping for a while, and then moving around quickly again, and then stopping, and then
Sort of like
eventually just gone.
ignoring
Like, yeah, I watched
physics.
them the entire time, and then at one point just like ding, gone.
Sort of like ignoring physics in their movement.
Completely ignoring physics in their movement. There's no way that they were man-made. No way.
The Pentagon came out and said that those are real and that they are hassling F-18s constantly.
Yeah, of course they're real. I'm not sure what's in them, but something's in them. And then
I got a
third,
theory. I think it's time travelers.
of course it is.
Because aliens would have to do a lot of complicated math to get this far across the
Of
galaxy.
course, there's no way that there's
But
nothing.
humans are vain, and we already know where the Earth has been. We can backtrack through space exactly where the Earth.
Sure, yeah, you can project.
Because a lot of people don't think about when time travel is. You're going to have to break time and space. Because if you travel in time
Wormholes or
500 years back right now from where we're at, the Earth is way over there in space.
Yeah.
So you're not in the same place.
right.
I think there are humans far in the future that are vain and want to watch our catastrophes. Because they always tend to appear around catastrophes.
Yeah, they know
Um,
they know when it's going to happen, and they're here for it to
I do-
rewatch.
If they're like what I think they're like it's vacation. They're like, let's go back in time and watch the Japanese tsunami. And then they get in a little white little orb, and then they go back in time and see that shit.
I have 2 things I want to say. They're now referred to as UAPs,
Oh, yeah,
unidentified
sorry.
aerial phenomenon.
Unidentified aerial
And
phenomenon.
number 2, they're definitely mermaids.
Ooh, yeah, because of all the ones that come out of the water.
They come from the water.
Oh, yeah, they're
Come
mermaids.
from the water.
Yeah, you're
I
right. No, you're right about
found
all that.
From the water.
So, what do you guys?
Yeah.
You guys familiar with getting into? Since we're getting into this sort of stuff, you guys familiar with Graham Hancock?
Yes.
Yeah,
And Randall
I
Carlson.
Yeah,
Finger-
Randall Carlson too.
Fingerprint of the Gods.
Fingerprints of the Gods. That book changed the way I viewed everything. Everything.
So are you a fan of the theory that there was a advanced global civilization
Yeah.
that was destroyed by a
Yep.
comet 12,000 years
Yep,
ago?
yep. Was it the something?
This
There's
So
a name for that.
The end of the Younger Dryas
Younger
period,
Dryas period. Yeah, Younger Dryas.
which was
to my understanding, this
bookended
is like
by glacial
the 5th
Yeah.
or 6th
coverage.
time that the human species has elevated to this level,
6 times. You think it's been 6 times?
from my understanding.
Oh.
Yeah, there was definitively a civilization that had navigated the planet and influenced cultures all over the planet, and there's pyramids in all of those places.
Well, I mean, yeah, you look at like megalithic rock work
the exact
from Machu Picchu to Egypt, and the ability to like form stones into like a almost like hairline like
exactly. You
separation.
can't get a piece of paper.
We
for
can't
them.
do that again. We can't mimic that with modern
No.
technology.
We can't lift there's a rock, one single fucking giant ass slab of rock that did not come from anywhere near Giza over the King's Chamber. One giant over that whole like
I think they said it came
span.
500 miles away.
It did, but the thing weighs like 200 tons or something. We don't have anything that will lift that now. How did it end up at an angle in the middle of the damn pyramid, please?
Not only an angle, but it fits to the same angle as the other top, so that it
Yeah.
creates a meeting joint.
Yeah. But it's a massive piece of stone from 500 miles away. You know, they know that because of the chemistry of the rock itself, where it came from, and it wasn't Giza. And
it was mermaids.
It was mermaids.
It was definitely mermaids.
Well, but I think that they obviously had technology, and there are other places on the planet where this is evident too, that that whoever built these things had technology that could just lift things in air like Yoda and then put it in place. That's the only explanation.
So
honestly,
the biggest rock that was used in any form of human construction is the anchoring temple rock in Baalbek.
yeah, Baalbek.
900 tons.
900 tons, and it's one solid piece of rock.
And it's carved on all four
Yes,
sides to
exactly.
fit where it's at.
Exactly.
I bet there's a
But-
crackhead out there somewhere that would argue with you.
900 tons. One solid rock. And they attribute it to the Romans, and the Romans don't even attribute it to themselves.
Yeah, that was way before us.
They're like, the Romans built this, and the Romans were like, nah, son.
Not
we
No.
found this shit.
No, we found this shit. Yeah.
I think
But-
the Sphinx also was a lion, and then they
Oh,
carved a human head.
Yeah,
onto it.
yeah. I mean, it was buried under when Napoleon. Getting back to Napoleon, when Napoleon found it and tried to bomb it, which is why it has pox now because Napoleon knocked the nose off. With
Thanks a lot,
with
Napoleon.
with cannonballs,
bitch.
with
Fucking
cannonballs.
Napoleon.
But it was mostly buried. Only the head was above the sand when he found it, and they.
So of course he was like, "Let's blow this to shit."
Exactly. We're gonna dominate here. We'll show them this is their god. and
Take
we're gonna
that,
blow
your
him.
head
We're gonna
rock.
blow him apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sphinx is way older. The Sphinx is like 10,500 BC is when I think the
Well,
Sphinx was.
I think
built.
it's when Randall Carlson comes into the argument because he says
Orion. We're talking about Orion.
the water erosion.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
of the-
water
yeah,
erosion.
was
yeah,
back
yeah.
when they were like a fertile
Yeah,
rain
it was
valley.
before the last ice age,
Yeah.
or right
It's,
after the last ice age, or something like
Every
that.
20 to 25,000 years, that whole area goes green, and then it goes sand, and then it goes green.
The first time I
You
ever
know what's
heard
interesting too
any
is the
crazy theories about
$23,000,
this?
the 23,000 year procession.
yeah,
How Earth. That's
the
a 23
polar
that is a-
flip?
That is that's a 23,000
yeah,
year
Art Bell was
procession,
like
and
talking about that shit.
yeah, no, it's reality though, and the Aztecs knew about it, the Mayans knew about it, but we just figured it out through astrophysics. I mean, we've lost a lot of damn knowledge. When the library at Alexandria was burned, we lost a
Yeah,
lot
the human
of damn
species
knowledge.
definitely has.
Yeah,
we
that's
have a giant collective amnesia, and the rich want to keep us.
How many
in the
white
amnesia.
orbs do you
the
think
rich already
appear
know
around-
about all
You
this
sound
shit,
like
by
a
the way.
conspiracy theorist,
It's
sir.
true though.
I mean, how many white orbs do you think appear around the Library of Alexandria?
How
but-
many?
The time travelers go crazy for that. That'd be the first place I'd go. If I had time travel, I'd be like,
The
Yep.
Library of Alexandria, but then I can't read any of it. That'll be the problem. Sometimes I have
Oh,
to learn
shit,
the
you're
language.
right.
That's
Fuck.
the issue. There's
and our fucking Google doesn't work back then. either.
no, you're exactly.
but-
So you're kind of screwed. If you're back there, you're gonna have to ask somebody in English how the hell to translate.
What's the
this shit.
Wi-Fi password at the Library of Alexandria?
Travis says that he's not high enough for this podcast.
Well, that's not our fault, Travis. That's your personal
I
responsibility.
will say this: I had a conversation.
Smoke more weed.
Speaking of Graham Hancock, I had a conversation this week, I believe, it's around Thanksgiving, with Mr. Birch about Graham Hancock. He thinks that Graham Hancock is an Aryan, like supremacist white nationalist.
Wow.
And I've read all of Graham's books and don't agree.
I don't
mean,
think
I
I
don't
ever
see
got that. I don't think
never
I ever
got
got that
that
vibe
vibe.
from him.
But Wayne has seen something. I'm not sure what that convinces him that
Mm.
parallel exists, and I've not seen it yet. So Wayne, please send me that link because I'm curious to see why you think that.
I'm
Yeah, we-
curious.
There's
'Cause I've
nothing
read
we
the
love
books,
more
I've
than
read
hating
the-
on
I've-
Nazis. So
I
if there's a
mean, I
Nazi, give
hate
us proof.
Nazis, and if he's a Nazi, I'm not a fan of him. At least that part of him, but I do believe that he's onto something.
See, here's the thing. I would love to be able to dismiss all of his theories and be like, bullshit, bullshit,
it's
bullshit.
not though. I mean,
but then
pronounced
Göbekli
bullshit.
Tepe.
Göbekli and Wayne has something about Göbekli Tepe, dude. He's like Wayne has an argument. I've not heard it fully.
But Göbekli Tepe has been found, and if the numbers are right that they're saying, that definitely predates Samaria by
Oh
a
yeah,
ton.
and Samaria was kind of what we think of as the very
The
first,
very,
but
very,
this
very
is
first
pre the very first, and they had mathematics, they had architecture, they knew all
They at
sorts
least had
of
enough
shit.
time to carve a lot of T-shaped pillars, which
And so
means
Wayne
that they weren't
says-
running around killing animals all the time.
Okay,
They
so
had to have time off to make
Phil
that.
Keller says, yeah, take Hancock with a grain of salt. Carlson's work seems pretty solid, though. Wayne says it's the same Aryan super race bullshit Hitler used to erase indigenous cultures.
I don't think it says anything about what
I don't-
race those people are.
I don't
though.
think so either.
I don't think he ever
I don't think
attributes
that.
it.
I don't remember, and I'm not saying that's not true.
But I mean, definitely Hitler had some crazy ideas about
Hitler
some
had all sorts of crazy
weird
fucking
Aryan
ideas.
super race that
Even though
existed
he
for
was not,
time.
even though Hitler was not an Aryan, he still had an idea about the Aryan race.
Motherfucking Austrian. God damn it.
Exactly.
Stupid Germans listening to an
I-
Austrian.
What am I wearing? Oh, I was wearing.
So
Another one.
I'm going to
German
use that
hat.
magic word that I like to use when it's appropriate.
Okay.
We're going to digress.
Sweet.
Jennifer, how would you like to chime in?
I'm
Have
wearing
you-
my Hitler hat, by the way. It's my Hitler hat. No, I don't. I'm not a proponent of Hitler. I'm sorry. But I am a German. So-
Hashtag you're canceled.
Oh, Mike. I think you got to hit that twice. One for the hat.
Hashtag you're canceled. Hashtag you're canceled. Where's the beef? Hashtag you're canceled.
Okay.
All right, Jennifer.
The natives are settled. It's good.
All right.
Jen, now it's your turn. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Concerning alien
Hmm.
cultures, ancient cultures, Hitler
No,
being, or
the
the
question.
Nazis being.
Hitler
Do you
was
have
in the ancient
do you have
history.
any stories of any paranormal,
Paranormal stories. God, we
Uh,
digress quite a bit.
the unknown?
Yeah. I
Very
I did
specific.
live in an
Hancock is-
apartment that in Bloomington that definitely had an entity that would it would make like a I mean it made its presence known by a very horrible smell. And then it would
But
and
it
it
would
would
come and
also
go.
affect the well it wouldn't it was very pervasive when I had a roommate move in, and because I lived in the apartment for a year and I never experienced anything negative or any negative energies or any paranormal experience. And then when I left from Minneapolis and came back and this roommate moved in, there was like this weird smell in the apartment.
Did the roommate?
But it
have
wasn't the
BO?
roommate.
Did the
No,
roommate have BO?
it wasn't anything. I don't know. It didn't smell like a rotting smell. It was just a very strong. It was really weird, but the air was really weird too. It had like kind of an electric
Ooh,
feeling.
yeah, like right
like
before
being on acid
tornado.
or something.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
get another
Lightning
hurricane.
striking.
yeah. And then when I moved back, it went away the next week.
Hmm.
And then I left and came back, and I was gone for a few weeks. And I came back, and it came back, and it was actually stronger. And it wasn't when it went away the first time, it didn't dissipate.
Huh.
But there was definitely like a weird atmosphere in the in the apartment. It was like I said, it was like being on LSD, just kind of like that strange.
Interesting.
It
Did it
really
move
was.
things?
It didn't move things. It just made it was
Knocking
just-
noises?
No knocking noises, just smell.
Just smell. You
And
were
everybody
haunted by
was
a very
everybody
bad
was
smell.
freaked out. It wasn't just me. Everybody was freaked out. I mean, we were trying to yeah. Yeah, it was a BO.
See, because
smelling.
kind
It
of what
was-
you're describing is exactly what it's like to be a single dude in his 20s. Where you're just walking around your apartment like, what the fuck is
No,
that
everybody-
smell?
No,
I can't
everybody was
invite anybody
hygienic.
over until I find this fucking smell.
No, it was a friend of ours that she remarked that she felt there was like an entity in the apartment, and
It was that lady from Poltergeist.
yeah,
They're here.
but everybody was like really freaked out. Everybody who came in just
I
it
mean,
just
speaking of the
wasn't-
paranormal,
yeah.
Poltergeist is a movie that is well known for paranormal. Because didn't that little girl like die from the poltergeist
After the second
curse?
film, yeah.
After
Yeah,
the
yeah,
second-
there was a
like a whole bunch of
poltergeist.
people who were
Yeah,
involved in
any-
that film had like weird fallout because of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of occult films are that way.
Exorcist.
Yeah, The
Yeah.
Exorcist, even that The Incubus with William Shatner. There was some weird
Didn't know about that.
occurrences. Yeah,
The Notebook.
The Notebook.
Yeah, and all those
Oh,
people who had to
yeah.
watch that movie.
I'm fired.
I couldn't watch that movie. It was kind of.
I didn't watch it. Actually, I,
I
think
never
did
gave it a
once,
chance.
but I fell asleep.
I never gave
So
it
I
a
don't know if
chance.
that counts.
I'll flick him on mute. Flick him on mute.
Oh yeah, I muted your mic.
Maybe that's
Well, you
probably
were
a good
getting up. I
idea.
had to mute it.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So loud.
You could just leave it that way if you wanted to. actually.
You got anything else on
It'd be
your sleeve
better.
there, Jennifer?
Well, I mean,
What about aliens?
aliens.
Birch. Wayne says that his last name is Hitler's vacation home. Birch was the name of Hitler's vacation home.
I didn't know that. Birch.
I haven't encountered any aliens in my life, unfortunately.
No?
I've not had a third kind experience. It's only
I
been
don't
sort of
know,
first and
yeah.
second, I suppose.
What about
Yeah.
cryptids?
Cryptids? What's a cryptid?
Like
The moth people, like
Sasquatch
the
or
Mothman?
Mothman?
No, we were scared of those though. We'd go camping. We'd be like, "Oh no, the Sasquatch is lurking in the woods."
Bat Boy.
Um,
Bat Boy was a cryptid.
Oh, Birch's Garden. Birch's Garden.
That's very German.
Well, that's where Hitler hung out, and I guess Wayne.
All German words sound like angry to me. I don't know why.
Birch's Garden, Birch's voice, the Birch's Garden.
They just sound.
yeah, class 5 paper there, Jen.
Don't está at Birch's Garden?
What's
Yeah.
your paranormal story for us today?
Oh man,
No, it is spelled the same. What does Birch mean?
I didn't
in
intend on
German?
actually answering, but I can. So,
Yeah, it's my turn to put the spotlight on you.
Mm.
I saw you look at me and I took the advantage.
well, I
What
have-
was the most afraid you've ever been because of something paranormal?
most frightened?
Yeah. What was the most frightened you've ever been?
When
Because of something
I
you could not explain.
was I think we were living on Wick Avenue, and this is in Ashland, Ohio. I had woken up in the middle of the night, and I swore, like, pitch dark, whatever, but I swore that there was somebody else in my room, and I'm sitting there looking around. I feel like someone's there, and I look ahead. Now, this house had an attic. That's where my twin brother and I's room was.
An attic at your house?
It was whatever.
An attic. I'm sorry.
Attic.
Not a dick or an attic, but an addict, but an attic. Okay, I get it.
But I woke up and
Was
I'm
there a
sitting there
dick
looking
in the
around.
attic?
There was a dick. Big old dick. But yeah, I'm laying in bed. I'm sitting there looking around. I could feel this presence, and suddenly I see a person hanging from a noose at the other end of the room. Now,
Whoa.
here's the thing. So you go up these stairs, and when you get to the top of the stairs, there's two like walkways that go around the steps
Yeah.
into the bedroom.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha.
And what I'd seen was a woman hanging over those steps.
the steps that go up.
Hanging
She was
noose.
hanging above that.
Noose-ish.
And that
And you saw the noose. What was she dressed in? Like clothes? Naked?
I don't know.
How
there
old
was
were you?
something
How old
there.
were you? Eight?
Third grade, it would have been 93. It would have been 10.
How would you describe it? Was it like full on like a human, like color wise? Did it glow?
They glowed.
It did glow.
glow.
They did glow.
So there was a luminescence to it.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if this is fact
Is
or
there a
not.
history of? Is there a history in that house of someone doing
The
that?
person that lived there before has committed suicide.
Jesus.
See, a lot of times when I hear like factual ghost stories, when I know someone's run into an actual paranormal experience, it seems like there's a bit of time slip involved in the same situation. You know what I mean? Like the ghosts are actually like a reminiscent of some sort of violence that's happened in the past. And it's almost like as if you're out of time when you experience that like paranormal moment.
They're out of time. They're in your time, out of time, in one of the other 7 dimensions. that
Right. Yeah, it's like
exist.
it's definitely like a crossroads
I'll,
between
I'll,
like
I'll tell you the most scariest thing I've ever experienced as an adult.
yes.
And
What year were you an adult?
2022.
Okay.
You
beat me by a
Mm.
year.
Y'all
that's
some
better.
mature ass motherfuckers up in here.
So Alana referenced earlier the shipwreck, which was a house that I had rented off my buddy at Raymond and Emerson.
I'm imagining it's like half sunk in the ground.
Dimensional Cross Rep. That's a good band name.
It probably still smells like whiskey in that basement. So I'm at home by myself. It's like a afternoonish. I'm not asleep, and I am just chilling. I don't have any TVs on. I'm the only one home. And I hear this voice come from the other room.
Oh boy.
And
You had not done acid? You had not
oh
done
no,
acid. All
oh no. I was like, I'm sorry, what was that? I literally asked whatever I had heard, and I fucking not. It responded.
Oh, cool.
And
What did it say?
Oh
Full
my God.
response.
What was the conversation?
I don't know what the fuck it
Where's
said.
the beef? Where's the beef?
And he was like, "Yo," and it was like,
It was a she.
fucking beef.
It was a she. And she
It was fierce.
responded and said the exact same thing she had said before that. I don't know what exactly she said,
Oh my God.
but this is
It said-
exactly what I did. I stood up from the couch
Yeah,
and I made my way to the front door
right.
and I shut the door.
Okay.
And then I went outside and I did not enter my house for at least 2 hours.
Did it say?
It scared the
did it,
shit out of
did
me.
it say?
Because it's one thing to hear a disembodied voice. No,
Like
it was
that?
not like that.
All right.
But
That was Amityville Horror, though.
goblin trap.
yeah, that fucked me
Goblin.
up because honestly, when I did it, it was like test the waters, just ask, and then it responded. I was like, okay,
Goodbye.
goodbye.
Nope.
And I just went outside.
You can have the house.
called
for 2
my
hours.
sister in Ohio, and was like,
There's a demon.
okay,
in the
so I'm
house.
gonna need you to talk me through this because this just happened. But that's I had another experience at the house. I actually woke up and we almost lost another camera. I'd woken up in the middle of the night, which by the way, personally, whenever somebody wakes up and experiences something, 50-50 on it. So I'm 50-50 on the first story I talked about at Wick Avenue because I'd only been awake for maybe a minute when I saw that. So part of me chalks that up as well.
Yeah, right, exactly. The twilight
I think
period
it's
of
easy to dismiss
waking
that,
up.
but I'd actually believe that when we're waking up, we're filtering through different levels of consciousness, and some of those levels are
I
more
like it.
connected to that. So while you're
Oh.
going through those levels into full consciousness and passing on the elevator up, you might see things.
Do you think that REM sleep is
Oh, I agree
uploading
with
your
that.
REM?
What
Do you think REM sleep? I mean, you REM sleep is required for us to remain sane.
right?
So, amongst other things, and you have to go into REM sleep. So, my question is, what is the exact purpose of that period of time?
So I
where
think-
you? I mean, is it? Are we uploading data into the fucking
I'm gonna go
giant fucking
Jungian.
the real cloud? Or I mean,
I'm gonna go Jungian on this.
all right,
I think we go to
The
a
universal mind.
a collected unconscious,
Consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's where we kind of tune into the same vibration for
Yeah,
a while.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then coming out of that, that's when like the studies they talk about where they were giving, like Stanford gave a whole bunch of crossword puzzles to the same people over and over again, and then they staggered it by a week. So half of the control got the crossword puzzle a week before the other half, and those people who got that crossword puzzle the week late were actually completing at an efficiency of 50%. So it's almost like once people have figured out what's going on and it gets into the unconscious,
Mhm.
other people are sort of able to activate it sooner.
Yeah,
That's what I think artist's job is. An artist's job is to walk that path that nobody else will, so that
Yeah.
there is a path for other people to follow behind.
I agree with that. Actually, completely. It makes sense. Totally makes sense.
So
Personal theory. Message.
so there's two backstories to me being like what
Wayne
the-
is right. It's all universal mind, all of it.
Yeah.
two backstories to the whole thing at the shipwreck. So the one that actually really kind of put me in a place was I woke up in the middle of the night, and after about 20 seconds of sitting there, and I did have that feeling like something's not right. I could feel it.
Yeah.
There was this flash at the end of my bed, and
Weird.
yeah, at the foot of my bed. And after the flashing ended, this whatever you want to call it, what appeared to be a woman in rather like older clothing with glasses on was at the end of my
Was
bed.
this a blow up doll?
No.
Oh,
And I said my friend's name, kind of friend, whatever, that might have been sleeping with me at the time.
Mhm.
And I said her name like 3 times as I'm sitting here staring at this whatever ghost, whatever, sitting at the end of my bed. And once it clicked in my head, I'm like, that is not that. I jumped out of my bed and I went to turn on my my fan light. And when I went to turn it on, I hit the switch and the light bulb blew. And I ran out to the fucking hallway, flipped on the hallway switch. That light bulb blew. So I went into the bathroom, flipped on that fucking light switch. That fucking light bulb blew. And then I ran out to the dining room. And I finally had
Shit was
lights.
chasing you.
Very crucial question.
And then I went outside. I went directly to the door. I proceeded to the door, opened the door, went outside, got in my car, and would not go back inside for 2 hours.
So basically,
And I called my sister in Ohio.
So basically,
It's
always 2 hours. You called the sister in Ohio.
I say you not.
So
That happened
basically,
maybe.
Bull, what you're
Crucial
telling me
question.
is when you deal with ghosts, leave the house,
For 2 hours and call your
hang
sister
out
in
for 2
Ohio.
hours,
Yeah, that's
call the family member,
There's a pattern.
back and
There's
it's
a
good.
pattern.
I'm gonna need you to walk me through this. sis.
basically when you encounter a
Not every
ghost,
time.
give them the house, surrender all your belongings to the ghost.
They
Come back
understand
later.
that this is his pattern.
Yeah.
You realize that? I mean,
I wish, Wayne.
All
I
ghosts,
wish.
all ghosts talk to each other.
Then they go through your fucking internet history. The ghosts are like, oh my god,
So
chef.
Wayne had a very crucial question about the ghost. Did she look like Riley Reid?
No, I'll respond to you as I respond to him. I wish. No, she did not.
Oh,
But so
oops.
before that,
There's your
though,
answer,
we had fiber. Tight like a tiger now, but we had fiber practice, and nobody else was there except for Dennis, Nick, and I. And we're sitting at the bar in the basement. We had not started playing. There's nothing on in the house, and we're sitting at the bar. I'm on the server side, and they're sitting at the bar, and we're talking. And somebody, female voice, yells down the stairs and says, with a question mark at the end, "Hello?" And both of them simultaneously lean back and look up the stairs and go, "Hello?" And they looked over at me, and I'm like, "There's no one here." And Nick goes upstairs. He searches. All the doors are locked. Nobody's in the fucking house. That was the first one. The second one was,
That's pretty badass.
yeah, that house was fucking
Three corroborators with that.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty. That's a good
I
bit
got
of
2 things of 2. There's only
evidence.
25.
so after I moved out, my buddy that owned the house,
You got to hit these cake kings
he was
or whatever.
preparing
that
it.
is.
Those cake kings they look good. They say to heat them up though on the box.
he had
That's crazy talk.
he was preparing the
I
house to
think
sell.
that and like a big dollop of vanilla
So
ice
he
cream.
was
Vanilla ice cream and those heat up. Jesus Christ. Anyone have an air
Hydrogenated
fryer?
goodness.
Anyone have an air fryer? Sorry.
oh shit, Nicole, awesome. Why y'all motherfuckers dropping my name?
Because you're cool.
So-
Because you're cool.
Yeah,
Something to call.
we're just
You're
summoning
part of
you,
my
Nicole.
history. We're talking
We say it
about.
enough and she'll show up and it works.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we summoned the
We
awesome.
summon- we
Alana
summon
wants to
awesome.
talk about sleep paralysis and aliens.
I do
with
not
me.
want to talk. Oh yeah, okay. I'm like, cool. I don't want to talk about sleep paralysis.
I just think that
Ugh, yuck.
Sleep or
I've done a-
Alice's?
I've done a
Sleep
lot of-
or Alice's.
I've done a lot of work with meditation and lucid dreaming, and I find there's a lot of layers in between full consciousness and full sleep.
Oh, dude, you and I are gonna have a long conversation
Because of meditation, I've been able to like gauge my way through the layers a bit because I think the first time I ever experienced it when I was in the basement of the Lilly House at the art museum.
Ah.
You know the Eli Lilly House.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
grounds?
Yeah.
And they had just started to open it. There was still some construction. The curators were moving stuff around. And I was security. It was like 4:00 in the morning. I knew my relief was coming at 6:30 to take my spot.
Cool.
I was trying not to fall asleep. Okay. The last thing you want to do as a security guard, fall asleep on the job. So I'm doing everything I can, sitting in this dark desk by myself in a basement, trying not to fall asleep. And all of a sudden, I'm in a different like realm. I'm still in the basement, but now I can see this. And instead of what was there, it's a game room from like the 1920s. And there's one of those like Atlas like bars and a snooker table.
Oh, wow.
And I see this tornado like moving around. So like in the end,
Cake.
I come out of it. A curator comes.
Oh, the whiskey.
A curator comes over, and I asked the curator, like, what was this room ever used for? And they verified that, in fact, the
Nicole and
Lilies
Lapel, you should just
had
come over. We
used
have
that
a bunch
room
of
as a game
hurricanes.
room. So I felt like in some way through that like state of mind, I had accessed the past and I was able to see that game room as it really was for a moment.
Hell yeah.
That is
And after that, that's when I was like, I really need to get into this meditation to like separate the layers of
so
consciousness.
meditation brought you to the state where you could see differences in time in the space that you're at.
That was how I found it on accident, but yeah, that's how I can get back to it.
And
for sure.
so do you think that ayahuasca or DMT puts you in a not just meditative state, obviously it's way more than just that, but it kind of puts you in a place where you see,
I think that certain people
you become one with the universe for 15 minutes and then freak out because of
I think
everything you
certain
just learned?
Eastern religions were trying to work to the same headspace that psychedelics just boot kick
meditation
you right into.
Yeah, meditation can bring you there if you're really good at it.
But also I think it's like a cheat code. Like if you do psychedelics, then you kind of already know how to get back to where you're going.
Yes.
So you've just like learned, okay, if this is a state of mind.
This
now,
path is now
how do
open.
I get back
that
to
door
that?
has been open. I can open it again if I try to.
Right.
Yep. I don't need the drug necessarily to do it the next time.
I do want to make a quick note.
Yes.
But the drug makes it quicker.
After I got kicked out of that house,
Yes.
the owner of the property, my buddy, he was cleaning it out and he was like cleaning out all the vents and shit. And he found a box of notes. And in these notes,
Was one of them A flat?
it was pretty like, I guess there were like,
Sustained 7.
yeah.
That's a chord. That's when you find a mix
bad
of notes
stuff.
together.
So I don't know.
Was it notes about what you guys were doing? Like someone was living in the walls watching you guys?
This one time, no, I don't know, but it was like dark.
I think that was
shit,
Lost
fucked
Highway.
up shit.
They were living in the vents watching you guys.
So we're running out of time.
Oh no!
I want to skip some beats and hit some
What
topics
time
here.
is it?
So Nicole Awesome has joined the live broadcast here,
Mm-hmm.
and she would like you, Mike Menke,
Yeah.
to tell the world, or at least the people watching,
The world.
tell them about the day y'all met.
Well,
Well,
I'll say this.
well.
I'm
Let's
trying
get-
to exactly recollect. I remember that I was in a band.
Quick, real fast. What was I wearing?
I think you were still in diapers,
Fuck. All right, go ahead.
but I didn't know you then, so I'm not sure about the brand. But so she was booking. I think I mentioned this earlier, but maybe she wasn't here for that part of it. But she did ask about why we were name dropping her earlier, though. So anyway,
Nicole Awesome booked shows.
she booked all the bands that played at the Stutz Gallery, like that 3-day event they have every year, where they open up the whole thing and you walk around, and it was like First Fridays except at the Stutz, and it's only once a year and it's 3 days long. But there were bands that played in like the elevators and things like that, like in corners, bands the entire time. And so she booked all the bands that played that, and I don't remember a lot about. Maybe you can clarify if you know remember more than me about this, Nicole. But I just remember meeting you, and then we became pretty good friends. I remember this after we played at the Stutz thing. That's the first place that I did ecstasy, and it was with you and your friends after, like, kind of an after party thing after the Stutz thing, But that wasn't the first day we met. And then, but she was living in a place that a friend of mine had lived in, Woodruff Place, maybe a year or two previous to her living there, in 2001 when my son was born, and he was born at Methodist. So the very first person that I went to visit after my son was born, May 17th, 2001, was Nicole, to let her know that Noah had been born. I'd met her maybe a week or two previous to that at the Stutz thing. So we were both young and we were kind of high, but truth. Love you, Nicole. No. That was after. I met you before, because it was Noah was born after the Stutz thing, I believe. But I went to your house after that right after he was born. You were the first person I went to see after he was born. But that was after the Stutz thing. So that's that story. That as well as far as I remember it. 2001, it was like a while ago.
So nobody died.
Well,
Did you know
a
that's
lot
the
of people
same?
have died. Every day people die, but not anyone I know regarding this story. At least like no one.
Did you know that 2001? That's the same year that Britney Spears came out with the movie Crossroads.
Ooh.
Really?
Wow. I think I'm starting to see a lot of things.
Correlation.
Yeah, a lot of things tying together now that you brought that up.
It's a bad joke.
I did not know that. Thank you.
Go ahead. I took care of that.
Yeah.
So where were you on?
It was the bar at the Stutz. You're right.
Where were you on 9/11, Mike Menke?
9/11. Okay, that's a good story, actually. Kind of.
That'll
good
bring
closer.
up the talk. That'll definitely jack up the chat.
All right, Dick Cheney, chill the fuck out.
All
No
right,
one's taking you to
man,
court, bro.
so much
Chill the fuck
story.
out.
So
Where were you on the worst day of your life?
I will say this. I'm
here right now, bro.
September
It's
11th.
another bad joke.
September 11th, 2001. My son was just born May 17th. I was in the midst of even before he was born.
So you
but-
were tired. Definitely tired. We know
Yeah.
that.
Well, tired and about to lose my career because of depression. I worked at Eli Lilly. I lost my job there after 10 years of kicking ass because of depression. And
From the
That
makers of Prozac?
yeah, exactly.
Is there a
that.
level of irony
exactly.
there?
No, there's a lot of irony there. And I never went to the press about it. I just signed a piece of paper saying that I would not sue them for 3 months' salary, which they gave me and I needed. But and then I thought, am I really going to go up against Lilly lawyers, even if I
Rat
wanted to? I
bastards.
mean, I would lose so quickly. So I took the 3 month severance package that they made you sign. When they give you the pink slip, they make you sign that piece of paper there at that moment, right before they escort you to your car. And anyway, I was on FMLA that year, and I got fired for being depressed from the company that makes Prozac. So anyway, and Cymbalta, duoxetine. So anyway, the short of it is that where were we? What was the question?
Where were you
9/11. So
when John Lennon died?
that's a different ball of wax. So 9/11, I lost my job September 1st, 2001. So 10 days later, I wake and that's some house husbanding, trying to figure out what I'm going to do career-wise after losing that job, and I have 3 months to figure it out. But within the first 10 days, 9/11 happened. And so I wake up at 8:30 in the morning. My son's up, my baby is upstairs sleeping, and I'd come downstairs and watch, whatever morning show was on, and they were talking about the first hit. And then in real time, I watched the second one. I'm just like, what the fuck? And I will say that the very first song that came into my mind, Benny and the Jets. Benny and the Jets. Benny and the Jets, though, because Bin Laden, but not Ben Laden, but Bin Laden. So Benny and the Jets. But it was a horrible thing, but it's funny.
I mean, you had to find the humor in a dark place.
Benny and the Jets. That was the first thing that popped in my head too. Was Benny and the Jets?
Yeah,
because they instantly blamed him. I mean, and there were two Jets.
They were like,
it wasn't Benny and the Jets.
The shit was still smoking. They were like, let's cut to some dancing Muslims. They did on live television. It happened. They were like, let's cut to some. Look how happy they are. They were setting it up. You were there. They literally were. They cut to some dancing Muslims and like, look how happy they are.
And that is what Trump said. That is what Trump said that he saw people in New Jersey doing, jumping up and down. Muslims jumping up and down in New Jersey after it happened. And
that's when I knew it was psyops operation.
It's a complete psyops. Well, and what about Building 7?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Please.
Even better is when he was
please.
in an interview, like we decided to pull it.
You just broke the sound barrier with that laugh.
Dude, Building 7 will set you on fire.
Building 7's the smoking gun, literally of psyops operation.
They decided to pull it at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Exactly, way after the fact. Nothing hit it. There was no gas.
Do you think they just smoked too much pot at 4:20?
I think it's really convenient that they had explosives in the building to pull it. I mean, that's what the technical term for a demolition is to pull a building. So when he said pull it, that is like, I was really convenient that you had the ability to pull the offices of the mayor's emergency response team.
Yeah, there was enough people knew that it was going to happen before it happened that most of them got out and didn't show up to work.
I mean, when they released
Only-
the
only
statistic of how many people didn't show up to work that day,
I mean, here's all I'm saying. They
the people that did were not. They were on the shit list for the corporations that they work for in those buildings. Probably they were the ones who were allowed
do your
to come
own
back to work.
research. Do your own research. Something about jet fuel and steel.
Thermite.
Do your own research. I'm sure it's out there. Whatever you don't watch Loose Change. Whatever you do.
all right, Jennifer, where were you when the movie Crossroads came out in theater?
Britney Spears.
Anyways,
is not
where
only
were
a musical
you?
genius but a actress extraordinaris.
When the towers fell.
I was taking had the day off from work. I remember that, and I was living in Fountain Square on Lexington Avenue. And my kid's dad was home, and he was just like, Jen, he was just like freaking out about what was happening. We watched the news, and we were just like, of course this was going to happen because, Bush was elected.
Not really, but hail to the thief.
There is a pattern there.
You sound like Al Gore, bruh. What's up, bruh?
Have you not listened to that album by Radiohead, Hail
Like
to the
when
Thief?
Bush got elected,
W
got
being
elected,
elected?
we cried.
Oh,
And
I
I just
bawled
knew,
my eyes out.
yeah, it was, we
The
didn't
beginning
know
of
it
the
was going to
end.
happen, but we knew some shit was going to go down.
He looked like it.
Satan had
Evil
taken over.
ventriloquist dummy.
Satan had taken over the country by force.
He was the ex-director of the CIA.
Chads,
I thought
Was
that
it-
was
he was-
I thought that was
He was the
George
director
H.
of the
Chads.
CIA.
George
Chads.
H. Bush.
Chads,
Chads, hanging
Not
Chads.
Chads, hanging Chads.
Hanging Chads.
That's a great band name, the Hanging Chads. You seen those guys? Those guys are. I think they're from Maryville.
Jennifer.
And watching
hanging Chad.
and then CNN, that was kind of a fairly new thing. It hadn't. I think CNN began during the Clinton administration, but it was like watching. It was so traumatizing when when the U.S. invaded Iraq. That was just, and it was just.
That was
It was
90.
so traumatizing.
Yeah. Oh no, Iraq. I'm thinking of Kuwait. Sorry.
Yeah, they invaded. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't invade Iraq at that point. We just murdered everybody escaping back to Iraq at that point.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the second one we invaded.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, I was thinking Kuwait. I'm sorry.
I love oil.
Hey man, I like driving fast in my car. So
For $3.45 a gallon.
petroleum.
that's the cheap stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, these days. That used to be the expensive stuff. That used to be the shit you get in Chicago.
Petroleum.
No, the
There's a
345.
place right around the corner that you can get some of that.
You can
Thanks,
ask me
Wayne,
where
for
I
the
was.
clarification.
Oh,
Since I was
Katie
a child.
Kabam says I can't drive 55. I think that her love of Van Hagar is
Katie, did you-
unbeknownst
Katie, did
to
you?
most.
God damn it! There it is.
Wayne's our fact
Katie,
checker
did you
tonight,
watch
man.
the-
Wayne is a fact checker
latest-
extraordinaire.
The latest episode of Raymond Bull Don't Fit In. You should probably watch it. Anyways, Peter Graves, where were you?
I had just gotten off of security job at the art museum and came back, and I was getting ready to go to sleep, and there was a phone call. I was couch surfing on my friend Chad's couch.
Hanging
Chad.
Chad's couch? Is it a hanging Chad's couch?
He was a hanging Chad.
Okay.
The phone call was from our friend John, and John said, "Turn on the TV." And I was like, "What channel?" And he said, "Doesn't matter." And I was like, "Fuck." So I turned on the TV, and it was right after the first plane had already hit, but before the second one did. And I ran into the room, and I woke up my friend Chad. I was like, "Chad, you got to come see this shit on the TV." And he came in, and he looked at it, and then he walked back into his room. He picked up a boombox, and he walked back into the room we
Sorry.
were in watching the TV, and he hit play.
Sorry.
All right, you're muted.
And he already had queued up REM's "It's the End of the World as We Know It." So we watched that shit burn and
Leonard
danced
Bernstein.
to "It's the End of the World as We Know It." And then I was like, "You know what we need to do right now?" And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "We need to pull all the financial records of all the politicians in charge as fast as we can because all that shit's about to drop off the internet. And he was like, no way. And then we did. We grabbed everything we could. And then I got kicked out of a couple graphic design websites because I posted a picture of Tyler Durden next to the Twin Towers on fire.
What a great book.
and people
man.
were like,
Point of
So I guess
clarification. Who's Tyler? I don't know who that is.
the lead character from Fight Club.
Okay.
Which I thought it was funny that in Fight Club everybody was so happy they blew up all those buildings, but then we're watching it on TV a couple years later and it's so traumatizing to everybody at the same time. I was like, didn't we just celebrate this in Fight Club and now you're upset about it? But
Well, manufactured.
it got me banned from like graphicsartist.com or something like
no.
that.
Hey, I will say
That's
this.
an exclusive
In
club,
my
dude.
entire existence on this planet, I've never felt such a unity of like everybody in those days preceding 9/11.
Afterwards, you mean? When everybody
mean,
was like,
yeah.
What about
you just have to
post-COVID?
worship
What
your-
about post-COVID?
worship
Weren't
your
people
president.
Like all
Post
the
9/11, my bad.
weren't the post-COVID? Weren't the COVID days when everybody like gathered together and
It was the
sang
that was
Kumbaya?
like the most like separation I've ever seen.
But afterwards,
enough
when
to
we
make
all
me
got to
sick
come
to my
back
stomach.
together, there was a kumbaya moment. After COVID, not during. During, we're all separated. After COVID, there's like a kumbaya moment.
I like
where
when
we all came
COVID
back
first
together.
kicked off and all the teenagers were like, we were having these parties where we spit in each other's mouths. That was awesome. That was a real thing.
Wait, that was
They were like,
after
watch your
9/11?
teenagers. No, that was after COVID kicked off. There was all
Oh.
these parties where teenagers were like spitting in each other's mouths.
They're like hurricane parties, like the one we're having now.
Yeah, yeah,
It's kind of
pretty
like a
much.
hurricane party.
Just
Like in
swirl
Louisiana,
Swirl it
they
in the
have-
silver.
when
We're
yeah,
more
exactly.
bougie about our spit swap, though. We use silver to do it.
Yeah,
They just
because
were
I
spitting
got it
direct.
cheap in Santa Fe.
I think if you get an $18
Dude, that's like a
silver
fucking-
platter, you have
that's
to
like a-
use that
that's-
as much as possible.
If this had all 12 goblins, or yeah, all 12 goblins instead of 7, and it had the tray underneath and the like dipper thing that you'd put it in the goblet, like the whatever the hell.
I just want to be very
That
clear.
is a $700 fucking piece of
For
silver.
sure, for
but
sure.
it's not a
But you got it for
complete set.
18 bucks.
I got
so
it
you
for
gotta-
I got it for
yeah.
18
Yes, he
bucks,
is.
but it was
He
incomplete.
is.
It was incomplete.
There's a whole fucking bucket.
Yes,
of
come
fucking
over. We are in Lapel,
A
Nicole.
whole-
Come finish our hurricanes.
Honey,
we have
honey.
Nicole Hurricane. We got lots of
I know that
hurricanes.
you're not
This
in
is the last
Indiana
day of
right now because you
hurricane
already said
season.
that. But
Tomorrow
even
is
if you
the end of
weren't,
hurricane season.
we're not going to be here that much longer because the show's almost over.
Oh, the show's almost over. It feels like we've been here 15 minutes.
That's exactly what I try to explain to people. It's literally like you walk in the door, you're here for 3 minutes, and it's been 7 years.
Nicole, I'm bringing hurricanes over to
Yeah.
your house soon because you don't live very far from here. And invite Rob Andrus.
I
to your
do
Is that
house.
an
wanna-
open
Invite-
container? No, sir. It's a silver chalice.
And we have a bottle of what is it, like Belvedere fucking, what is it?
Yeah, Belvedere.
It's Belvedere. We have Belvedere fucking bourbon that I'm sure Doug would
I'm
love.
pretty sure Nicole's on a boat somewhere.
No, Nicole is in fucking Fortville, like 15 minutes away.
Okay, I might be confused. Yeah, that's
Can we
cool.
come back soon? Back soon to where?
Yes, of course.
Back soon to where?
So, anyways, I don't know why I thought she said she was like her and Doug or
No, they live in Fortville.
Like,
they don't. They live like
no,
not too-
homie. I thought she said they were on vacation or some shit.
No, they're working their butts off. They're,
Anyways, I do
they're
want to point
rehabbing
out
houses.
it's very important that I point this out that Peter basically outed himself. He is in fact not a vampire. Silver spoons.
Are we talking about what's that Silver Spoon kid's
You
name?
don't know. I'm a silver vampire.
What is that Silver Spoon kid's name? That series, that kid, that blonde kid.
I don't know.
Wasn't it Silver Spoon? Wasn't it like a TV series of some little Ricky Schroeder? or
There
something?
definitely was a show
Ricky
called that.
Schroeder. Ricky
There
Schroeder.
you go.
Ricky Schroeder.
Oh man.
Is that a thing? Vampires can't have silver? Where'd you hear that?
Vampires can't have silver.
Yeah, I never heard that.
No,
one.
no, that's silver bullets are.
Yeah, I thought that was
are-
werewolves.
That's werewolf. What
Yeah.
did I never said.
I'm definitely not a lycanthrope. That's for sure.
I never said that Dracula couldn't take silver.
Plus, you invited me in.
He's a
so
wood steak. He's a wood steak.
once you invited vampire in, I
garlic
basically-
and wood steaks for
doesn't matter.
Dracula.
a la Lost Boys.
Silver's the best.
The garlic didn't affect him. All the shit. Once you're invited in, it's okay. I can do all the normal human shit.
You know what? If garlic, well, I would say this. I would hate to be a vampire knowing that garlic was off my palate list. Like I couldn't have anything with
That's why
garlic in it.
Italian restaurants are always inviting you in. That's why we can eat there. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of garlic in our food.
Come in, come
Okay,
in.
Well,
Jeanette,
the Asians
I
do
got
it too.
you.
They had ginger though, and ginger and garlic's the
Asian vampires are weird.
No,
They just hold their arms out and hop. It's
Asians.
very weird.
I think Asians are as close as we are getting to the species that initially came to the planet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean they're
like genetically.
yeah, they're probably like the first people that really hit.
Okay, so
Well,
the
people
Emerald
you know?
Triangle definitely dates back to 5000 BC, and that would put them in the running against Samaria for first human culture.
They
I
look.
haven't got
They
a word
look
in,
like they
Katie.
look like aliens, though. I mean, not that I think that they're aliens or sub. But my point is this: I was married to an Asian. I'll just say this: she's Korean. Quarter Korean, quarter Chinese, have Finnish. So anyway, bottom line is I can make fun of Asians if I want to slightly, but it's not making fun of as
Hit
much
the button.
as
Hashtag, you're canceled.
Oh, damn!
Peter and I are on the same wavelength.
All right, I fucked up.
I was already on my way.
We're not allowed to make
on
fun
my
of
way
shit.
to the button.
I don't know where
I
you're
was making
living.
fun of my ex-wife.
We can't
and I
make
have
fun of
every
shit no
fucking
more.
right to make fun of my ex-wife and
It's
the
the age of
fact that
Aquarius. You're only allowed to love.
Are we descending into hair now?
Yeah.
All right.
It's happened.
Hairspray.
It's fucking happened.
Hairspray.
Joseph Technical and Dreamcoat's coming out.
Oh my god.
Yes, we all share DNA with orangutans. Jesus, Wayne, I'm a geneticist. We are 70% identical to a banana genetically. So think about it.
So many banana jokes. So many banana
This comment section is fantastic. Oh man. Actually, Nicole, I win if we're talking about hair. I have the most beautiful head of hair in this world. Can't see it.
No hair is not the most beautiful head of hair, Chef. I will say,
Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not beautiful, Mike. Okay.
on the inside, your hair is the most beautiful hair ever. But on the outside, Nicole has a badass fucking set of dreadlocks. Not dreadlocks, but
Man, I'm glad he went there.
I was like, where are we going with this, Mike? Hashtag, you're canceled.
Oh, not again. Cancel culture is killing me tonight.
Oh, man.
Of all nights, cancel culture is killing me.
We never need fear of the banana. Thank you, Phil. Oh, fuck my life. So what's with the alien theory? And then did you bring...
No,
We're not going back to aliens,
All
bro.
right, fine,
I'm trying to
fine,
shut this
fine,
shit
fine,
down.
fine. They're short.
We're not
they're
going.
short,
The
they have
people
little
have
beady
spoken. They
eyes,
need
they're all like,
answers.
like, you know, they have a language that looks like what was found in Roswell on the aluminum foil. That's what it looks. I mean,
Pictographs?
yes, of course. My point is, the Asians, I think, are the aliens.
That's your-
Cheers,
All right.
everybody.
Everybody got that? Mike says the Asians are the aliens.
All right.
That's Mike's.
It's not racist.
I like the band Alien Culture.
not racist
Thanks.
at all.
I love the band Alien Culture.
Alien
We're
Sex
all the
Fiend.
aliens.
Yeah,
Alien
we're
Sex
all
Fiend
the
is a really
aliens.
good
No, Alien
band.
Culture-
And they're just the
Yeah.
Asians, but they,
No.
they're like the closest descendants of. We are, divergent from. They're the smartest of all, but also like killing each other. So, because whatever.
Let him have the mic.
Asians have wars, Asians have battles. Remember the
Yeah, they do.
Shoguns? Remember the Shoguns? Come on, man.
Yeah.
You not watch that in the 70s?
We like,
Shogun?
I mean, as humans, we like to kill each other. That's the thing. We're really into it. We've invented a lot of ways to do it.
yeah.
My favorite time of
Just
humans
little.
killing each other was when they all carried giant knives and they're like, we're just going to cut the fuck out of each other.
Oh yeah.
Slice him in half! Slice his arm off! Oh!
That's some crazy
Decapitation,
shit.
really. Decapitations.
Yeah.
Well, what about the guillotine?
That was
Getting
a good
back to
time.
Napoleon. What
Going
about the
back to
guillotine?
humans killing humans. That was a very efficient way of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guillotine.
Guillotine.
It was also like a showy way of doing it.
Well, yeah, the whole crowd, like the whole town gathered around. Yeah,
There was a whole time where that's
It's like a
that
blood
was like a
sport,
thing.
you know?
You'd get the kids, have a picnic,
Oh,
watch a
yeah.
hanging. That was a thing.
It was a thing.
We just stopped doing it altogether. Now we
Well-
just do it like on repeat in video games. Just murder
Well,
the
yeah, they
shit out of each
exactly
other all day
that.
long in video games.
Which is why I think first-person shooter is not the best idea for.
I think it's great
for 5-year-olds.
for 5-year-olds. Oh no,
That's
not-
my
not yet.
point. But
No.
they
should
have
be on
that
a
shit.
leapfrog.
I don't know. Then maybe not let your 5-year-old play fucking first shooter games, right?
I mean, unless they're pretty good at it.
They're great at it, but that doesn't mean that it's I don't want to get into the video games. Video games, I think, have ruined a lot of.
Man, if we acted out video games, then I would be hanging out in dark rooms eating pills and listening to eat. Oh,
Are you saying that
Maybe
that's not what you is that? Are you saying that that's not what you are?
just saying that's Pac-Man life, yo. Pac-Man
life.
Yeah. Eat the pills.
What about Miss
Chase the
Pac-Man?
ghosts.
Was that a good idea? Bad idea? Miss Pac-Man, good idea? Bad idea?
I think that was because
Zelda.
Atari had a whole bunch of leftover proms they needed to ship on boards, and they're like, let's just
We'll make
all
one for the
these
girls, but
fucking
let's make a video game for the
proms.
girls. Let's attract the girls to video games. Maybe Miss Pac-Man will do that.
didn't it work?
It's a marketing scheme.
Girls
Of
like video
course.
games.
You put a bow on Pac-Man's head and it's Miss Pac-Man. Come on, man.
Nicole, don't. No, I do. have to.
Katamari.
I cannot have a repeat of last week.
Katamari Damacy
No.
was the best video
We are not.
game.
We are
when
not
you were
going. We are
stoned.
not going until 3:00 in the morning.
You
this
just roll up
time.
the world and get high.
Three-
Katamari.
I'm thinking 11:20 tops.
What time is it now?
I don't even. It's
I hope it's close to
10:04.
11:20.
It's only
10:04.
10:04, and you've
Yeah.
committed us to this much longer. Jesus Christ.
Bring
Okay,
the tomatoes.
no longer than 11:20, Nicole, and it's only 10:00. What?
Hi, Jenny.
What? Bull, what you got going on tomorrow that you got to go to bed for, huh?
Katamari Damacy.
It's this thing I do. It's a 4-letter word.
Like living a life or some shit?
No, I hate to use swear words on this fucking show, but I have to be that fucking twat. Work. I have to work tomorrow.
Work.
Shit's
Work.
crazy, man.
Please.
You slaving for the man?
Slaving for the man.
The man or the woman?
Dig Dug fuck me up. All right, Phil.
Hello, Jenny
Uh,
Thompson. How are you?
She's talking about Katamari Damacy, man. Get high and roll it up. You start as a little dude and you're pushing around a ball, and then he rolls over littler things. And as the ball gets bigger, you get to roll up more and more.
Is it
shit.
like a dung beetle?
It's like a dung beetle on like pastel crack, though, because
Whoa!
fucking the graphics are amazing and they're
Whoa! Pastel crack dung beetle.
with a good.
Have you seen them? The pastel crack dung beetles? I think they're from Mishawaka.
They're on the same label as
Thanks, Jeanette.
Strawberry Alarm Clock.
Oh,
Yes, of course.
I said 11:20.
At least.
Wow.
At least
I'm at 10:20.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
wrap-
yes, I did.
wrapping it
So,
up.
so look.
You gonna play the music?
Jeanette,
Sell
Jeanette,
crack.
it's mostly Jennifer that brought the dazzle, and thank God she's here because without it,
Yeah, we would have been nothing without.
yeah,
Jennifer
pretty
tonight.
much.
She pretty much brought the whole show.
Three dudes sitting around like looking at each other. So I mean, at least someone brought the dazzle.
She kept the conversation going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
without us, it would have devolved into like
Oh,
alien
my.
sleep paralysis.
I have had pastel crack one time, and it was divine. I'll just say it was kind of the light blue, light green, light yellow pastel.
Is this crack pastel? Yeah, motherfucker. I've never done crack. I imagine it's. A lot
I've
like
never done
doing
crack either,
cocaine,
but
though.
pastel crack sounds funny. So I mean, could you imagine getting? Because like in
Sounds like a wallpaper.
in Breaking Bad, they had like the blue meth, right, or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So, but pastel crack. Think about that. That could be a whole new fucking series. We could make a whole new series about pastel crack
Oh,
and
my
probably
God.
make a mint. That's my point.
I bet it would taste.
Thank
minty.
God for fucking pastel crack.
You know, Nicole, the way you said bye, guys, I guess she said something else.
Is,
God damn it.
is freebasing cocaine technically crack?
No, it has to be. Crack has to be
It's
mixed
called
with
Tyrone
baking
Biggums.
soda.
Soda, yeah.
Yeah. So if there's no baking soda, it's not crack. You're just bougie. That's all. When you freebase the cocaine,
It's just freebasing. It's just freebasing.
You wouldn't
it's
lower
not
yourself
crack.
to the
It-
standards.
it
of
is
crack.
called freebasing, and you were right about
Science.
that. No more. It's not crack. Pass out crack is what you get if you wear Wednesday panties till Saturday.
Science.
That is science. It's not untrue.
Okay, then I've never done crack.
Safe. You're safe, Nicole. You've just
This is
been
a safe
you've just
space.
been bougie freebasing. That's all.
Yeah, bougie freebasing, pretending it's crack, but it's not. Calling it crack, but it ain't.
Wouldn't it be cute if we were freebasing crack right now, guys?
You can't freebase crack.
What about Crank?
Yeah, whatever
What the
happened to
fuck is
that
that?
shit?
Yeah, I
Wasn't that a Hell's
know.
Angels?
It came out of nowhere and just went back
That was a
there.
Hell's Angels mixture.
I thought crank was a reference to meth.
I thought it was a Hell's Angels.
What was that Russian drug that made people like chew their arms off or whatever?
Solutone?
Alligator.
Soylent
I have-
Green.
there's only,
Soylent
crocodile.
Green. It's people.
It's very few drugs I've never done. Meth is one of them.
I will not.
Yeah, I only do the stuff that
Technically-
makes you
technically,
hallucinate. I don't want to do that.
I've never done meth because I've definitely done my fair share of Adderall, which is
They just don't have a good spokesman. Meth just has a. There's no one there that's like, wow, I want to be like that guy.
I've never done heroin either, but I've also done opium. So
Kind of.
kind of.
Well, you think it's opium, but it's actually dupe incense.
I have not. I have, dude.
It's
I
like
have
a tar
not
incense
seen
they
or
used to-
heard of. They're everywhere. I've not seen or heard of opium since like 2004.
It's really just that
So many comments. I can't keep. Wow.
Just say or Rob, but Rob not watching.
There we go. All right, I'm catching up. Crack energy drink would be baller. Agreed, Jerry. Fuck yeah.
Wasn't that Four Loko?
That's an inside joke. You'll find out. Crocodile.
So
Crank City.
Jake
Never meth
Clyde
or
for-
heroin. I do have limits. Yeah, I've never done meth or heroin either. I mean, I've done
never do
like
meth or
side
heroin.
subjects of that, but no, fuck that. No needles for me, y'all. Don't fuck with that shit.
Well, I'm a diabetic. I can't avoid the needle. Sorry.
I feel
sorry,
you. I feel
sorry.
you. It's a little different though, Mike.
Well,
I don't know if anybody
is it
even
or
heard
is
what you said because you were talking away from your mic. Again,
I
Taylor
heard him.
Swift is Adderall's spokesperson, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Speaking of Taylor Swift, I was at the Taylor Swift stage most of the night for Donic Ball. Took some pictures.
All right, y'all.
Taylor Swifting. Swifties. Shout out.
To Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
To the shift to the Swifties.
What are those what does she wear all the time? What are those things called?
Clothes.
No, no.
Dresses.
She always wears
A
they're
smile?
like a
Is it a
sweater,
smile?
but
I
they're
think she wears a
longer.
smile.
What are they called?
Smock.
Cardigan?
Cardigan. She's the spokesperson.
Do you
for
remember that band, the Cardigans? They
Frank
were good.
Cardigan.
Yes.
The Cardigans were
I
a good
remember the
band.
Cardigans.
That's a
Yeah.
good band, the Cardigans.
Love me, love me.
Say that you
You
love
love
me.
And that was their only song.
Yeah, it was like the
They had an album.
the
There
single
was an
off
album.
of
There was an
Romeo and Juliet, 1998.
Romeo and Joliet. Wasn't that where the
It
Blues
was,
Brothers
Romeo
started?
plus Juliet.
What?
I remember that.
Jennifer, for real?
The Cardigans
Come
rock.
on.
The Cardigans rock.
All right.
Daddy.
All right. Damn, girl.
Yes, sir,
like,
you can hear me loud and
fuck.
clear about where I'm at 'cause my
Let me get
voice
that
projects
straight for you,
stupidly.
Mr. Chef.
My voice.
That was
projects
hold on.
stupidly.
That was Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet.
Claire Danes.
Claire Gaines.
Yes,
all right.
Gaines,
All right.
Are we
Danes.
talking about? Are we gonna go into Titanic now? Is that where you're
No,
going?
but I
brought
see
it
where
up.
I made
You
that-
brought it
made
up.
that-
Oh
You
yeah,
brought
yeah,
it up.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
That's
They had
by
cool
far.
firearms.
By the way, I have seen so many movies in theater. I unfortunately have seen Titanic in theater more than any other movie
I thought the
because my
day it
bratty
came
little
out-
sister, love you, Steph, she got her way, and we went and watched that movie like 6 weeks in a row.
What movie?
Titanic,
Ugh.
and I'm telling you, the titties kept me going for at least the first three, and then after that,
Aw,
I was sleeping
Jeanette.
through it every time, sleeping through it.
Thanks for
All
doing
right,
this,
let's
Jeanette.
get back to comments here before we close this down because we are closing
I
this
thought we
down.
were- I thought
I
we had
went to the
another
movies
hour.
a lot
I thought
by
we had another
myself.
hour. I said
No,
another hour.
this is a 3-hour podcast,
No!
not a 4-hour
I
podcast.
thought this was an 8-hour. Last week was an 8-hour podcast.
Yeah,
I
what
saw
happened?
Malcolm
What was
X
that
at the
about?
movie theater.
You guys must have been on drugs. to
Yeah,
make
you
it
guys
8
were
hours.
stretching time like I've
Oh,
never seen.
I had to
before.
like fly through these just to keep up.
I think it was because
Thank you guys for chiming in tonight, like all of y'all.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it was
enjoyed
really,
the comments
It was
more.
really fun.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
I think I'm gonna when I repost all this, I'm gonna change it to Chop Livers Midweek Crisis number 33 hashtag Team Jennifer because like for
Team,
sure
actually, you should use the moniker Team Moppenglunt.
mopping
Moppenglunt. Moppenglunt.
Sounds German.
It
Yeah.
is. There's a reason for it. It's German.
dude. I cannot read or hear the word Iron Man without in my head minimum going generals gather like
Every time.
even though that's not the same song, it doesn't matter. Anytime I hear anything Black Sabbath or any relevance to Black Sabbath, I automatically just those words come into
Paranoid
my-
was their best album.
for sure. All right,
That dude on the
there we
front of
go.
the
I
album.
fixed it.
Mike got the mute. Oh,
I muted his mic.
How many, what is the record for number of mutes given in an episode?
Number of what?
Mutes.
Mutes?
Mutes-
Oh,
mutes
dude,
given,
for
mutes
sure. Oh,
we're gonna
man.
start by
Am I-
keeping track of yours.
Am I,
had to be.
Am I approaching the?
It had to be Village Elder.
Village
But
Elder.
you've only
All right.
seen half of that show unless you watched it live. 4 hours and some change. Only 2 hours is out there.
Ooh.
Only 2.
So it's a lot of muting.
the,
a lot of
the
meaning.
missing 2 hours.
Well, maybe that needs to be the next episode.
When you guys were doing blow off a hooker's ass.
That was
No,
ass?
there were
Was
no
that her
hookers
ass?
here.
Oh my
No
god! that was
hookers,
her
nor
ass?
was there any blow. Nobody ever brings blow to fucking Midweek Crisis. What the
Well,
fuck?
We are.
I'm
lapel.
canceling everybody
We're
that's ever been
lapel.
on the show for not
Have you-
bringing blow.
Isn't
I
our,
just took my PM vitals. Thank you for all the laughs. My BP is nice and stable. Don't have to take Carvadillo. What?
my question?
Anybody?
Isn't the
Drugs. She doesn't have to take a
Drugs.
certain
Nice.
drug.
Alright.
doesn't the DEA station themselves in lapel? That's why no one comes with cocaine.
Oh, thanks, Kitty. I saw. Wait. There's new comments. Are you sure?
New
Jesus Christ, I can't even keep up with the ones we've got. I saw Pulp Fiction 9 times.
Yeah,
What
Wayne,
kind of
we'll do drinking
what
games
kind of
on your
drinking
night.
games would you want?
Nice.
To do,
That shows
Wayne?
character,
I mean,
Wayne.
like,
Love you, buddy. Worcester, by the way. Worcester, Ohio. Wayne Birch. I'm from Ashland, which is basically
Cool.
the same
What
place.
what kind of drinking games do you think Wayne might want to do on his night? Drinking games.
Who?
Wayne
When
asks,
Wayne
Wayne asks, can we do drinking games on my night? I'm just curious what kind of drinking games he might want to play.
Oh, yeah. Every time
Like
Mike
spin the
Menke
bottle,
comments,
like
we have to
spin
take
the
a shot.
bottle. You guys are gonna
I'm gonna
really
be
drunk.
trash.
You guys are gonna really,
Mike
really
Menke,
fucking
by the
drunk.
way, our comment section tonight has been dampened by the fact that you're on the show. So, because Mike Menke owns on the comments for sure on Chop
Not
Livers
tonight.
Midweek
Not
Crisis.
tonight. Not tonight. I've made 0 comments tonight. I'm gonna keep it that way.
You're gonna get on your phone right now, so like start commenting.
Wait
like,
till he
first
rewatches
comment
it.
C, second comment O,
He's
third
gonna be-
comment
Can you
M, fourth
comment on
comment
the
M,
rewatch?
fifth
Yeah.
comment
You can comment on the
Yeah, you
rewatch?
can comment on the
Holy
rewatch.
shit!
and
It adds in based on time too.
Oh wow! I didn't know that. That's
Buzz.
a dangerous. That is a dangerous bit of knowledge.
all
You
right.
can go back and curate all that shit.
Wow.
Poppy cup or floppy cup is fun. I like. Oh fuck yeah! Oh, what
Wait a second. I have
Hey,
a question.
I don't know any
Nicole,
of these
you and
games.
you
You know
you
the
and
way to-
Dirt should come on the show, and I will set up the fucking. I've got the table for it. We'll set it up, and we'll put a camera on the table, and we'll do flippy cup or whatever floppy cup.
Yeah.
I have
We totally got
Let's
that.
do it. Let's do it.
I have a point of clarification. I
Ah,
think
fuck you, Kitty.
needs-
God damn it! Calling me on my shit.
needs to be made. In
Hell yeah.
today's when you at the
All right.
beginning of the day when you
God
like
damn it.
mentioned the show, you talked about 3 things with regard to me. One of them was my something about the NFL and like 4-time
Okay,
But
4-time
then-
Super Bowl champion.
4-time Super Bowl champion. which-
Your love for organs.
my love of organs.
I'm sorry, church organs.
well,
you had to make that very clear.
Let's clarify
Uh,
that. Shall
and
we?
then
I'm prepared-
underwear
Underwear model.
Yeah.
Underwear, you're right. Underwear model. My underwear modeling career, and my takeover of the state of Ohio.
Oh, that's right.
And someone just brought up a couple minutes ago. Shep mentions growing up in Ohio. Drink. That is the motto. Actually, verbatim. Shep mentions growing up in Ohio. Drink. That is the motto.
I heard
for,
that Ohio is for lovers.
It is for lovers, but it's also for Shep, Ohio, mentioning drinkers. So my point is that I am going to take over the state of Ohio, and my motto for the takeover of the revolution that will occur across the border is Shep mentions growing up in Ohio, drink. So if everybody could just wrap themselves around that concept, we're taking Ohio.
Cool. All right. Well, shout out to Mike and Jen for coming on the show tonight.
Thanks
you guys
for
are
having
awesome.
us.
I didn't give you the clap earlier.
Yeah, I didn't.
I
give the
just
clap.
gave you the clap.
Oh
I'm not touching that.
Phil,
Chlamydia is
I am
not a
touching that
flower.
tonight. If Shep gave her the clap, I'm not touching that tonight.
Take a trip to the Bellflower Clinic.
Don't look
for
at
all
me
I
and
care.
talk about the
I
clap.
know, right? Phil, thanks for
Chlamydia is not a flower.
being second in command tonight.
used to be.
And let me hang on to the reins one more show. Paulie, we miss you, buddy. We wish you could have been here.
Yeah, I actually have a question
Wish.
for you, Paulie, but you're not
Wish.
here. So I'll ask it, offline.
Oh, okay.
My question to Paulie.
It's not awkward.
Well, he's not here. I was
He's
hoping
got a
he'd be-
gun!
Oh!
He's got a gun! Holy shit! Nice shot, man. Oh fuck.
I don't know what you're talking about. That shit wasn't
Fuck,
me.
man.
At
Wasn't
least,
me.
at least it was caught on camera so that they could watch it on CNN forever.
It reminds me of that. Oh. What the fuck?
Oh my God!
Oh, that was
this
You
is
nailed
devolving
my
quickly.
mountain
This
dew,
is
man.
devolving
Don't
quickly.
read. Come on. Oh, all right. He said it back. All right.
Okay, so whoever wants to drink Hurricanes,
throwing
I
nice
got a
circle.
big ball of them. We're going to
70
Jay Clyde's right after this to karaoke. So whoever wants to finish the Hurricanes, they're in a big ass silver bowl. It'll be in the back of my car.
I'm sure Jay Clyde's is gonna love that.
Yeah. Well,
Free drinks!
We will be in the parking lot
We'll just
across
pour
the
it-
street at the
the parking
Chase
lot.
Bank.
Chase Bank, hanging out with a
Yeah.
bowl of
Favorite
liquor.
Don't
bank.
tell anybody that we're across the street giving out free drinks. 'cause
Yeah,
Jay
for
Clyde's
sure.
giant
I mean,
silver
It's not
chalice.
like we're live on social media, Mike.
Oh, I never said
Jay
that.
Clyde's is probably watching.
Oh, all right. So not at
Whatever you
Jay
do, don't go
Clyde's.
across the street.
Do not go across
And
the
look
street
for a man with a giant silver chalice.
with a giant
Phil
sandwich
Keller has to say it.
full of
Don't
Hurricanes.
cross the streets.
Yeah. Whatever
He's
you
like
do.
big Ghostbusters like me.
Don't cross the
God
street.
damn.
Nicole, do you want us to stop by your house before we go to Jay
And just
Clyde's?
pour
Is that
the
what you
silver
Is that what you
chalice.
just
Just-
insinuated?
yeah.
Just baptize you.
We're
in
coming to
Hurricane.
your
Stop by
place,
here
Nicole.
You can
We're
baptize
bringing
a
the
child
bucket
in
of
that.
Shrug.
If anyone has a kid that needs baptized in a hurricane, you can bring that by right now.
It is a kid-sized bowl.
Yeah.
Well, a baby-sized bowl. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
baby size. for
Baby-sized
sure.
bowl. Yeah, I mean, if they're going to be
No one
baptized
older than say 8
in the
months.
river of Jordan, which is full of hurricanes, if they're going to be baptized in the river of Jordan, they better come quick because we got a silver chalice with their name on it.
Then you can
I've
lick
heard
your
that so
child
many
and get
times in
drunk
my life.
afterwards.
You are the hurricane, Nicole.
Nobody.
I don't have any hurricane jokes.
No.
Hurricanes aren't jokes.
I meant you better come quick. Anyways,
Like
Uh,
like a 14-year-old boy. Come quick.
all right.
Oh man, you got it with the want want.
Oh.
So shout out to our sponsors, Punk Rock Night, every Saturday at the Melody Inn. is
Who wouldn't
Punk
want to
Rock
sponsor this?
Night.
Set up. You're right. I'll come pick that
Technically,
hurricane
a
cup up.
sponsor of ours now is Naptown Punk, Jonathan Sanders.
Shout out to John.
Although his next scene that he can sponsor us will be out here in about 2 months. He's getting it put together.
Ooh,
But
look
we
for
definitely sponsored Mr. Sanders and Naptown Punk as well.
Sorry.
Solid 6.
Sorry.
I don't know. I'd give it a 5.5.
I'm working on a 2.5. Oh my
Push it.
It's
Push it real
the
good.
laugh just suppressed it down. I'm fucked.
I also have one of your cups.
Yeah, Nicole does. So I need to go pick up one of my silver chalices. This was at her house before I moved to her house. This was Nicole's. When I came here from Santa Fe, that was with me, and I was staying at Doug Nicole's until I met her at Punk Rock Night like 3 months ago.
Right on.
Santa Fe's cool.
And we've been in love ever since.
I like
So
I like the West. Santa Fe.
Santa Fe is awesome. Actually, Trinidad, Colorado is badass too. If you've never been there,
I grew
It's
up
not
in
too-
Colorado.
near Trinidad, or
I actually grew up in Westminster, just north of Denver.
okay, so you're further north. This is
Yeah.
like Trinidad's like 2 hours from Taos or something.
Yeah, that whole side of Colorado is pretty cool, isn't
It's
it?
and extremely cheap
Yes.
compared to the rest of Colorado. It's like dirt cheap, and it's beautiful.
That's also the
It's
side
better-
that Hunter preferred. He preferred the east side, the west side of the mountain range, like Owl, whatever.
as he should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Hunter.
Rest in peace.
He was
Hunter.
probably killed and not suicided. Just gonna say that.
You think that he didn't kill himself?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think he killed himself.
Like Kurt Cobain.
His son doesn't think he killed himself. His son said that when he walked in the room, his front 2 teeth were broken out, which is indicative of a silencer.
What about Kurt Cobain?
Oh shit, Kurt Cobain. That's a good one because I like to believe that he didn't kill himself, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I really think though that
I like to buy into that conspiracy.
I'm really not a big fan.
That's the one like his wife,
Courtney.
right? Courtney.
Yeah,
hired
I mean, did you see that
somebody
whole
from,
like
like,
3.5 hour
Motorhead.
long video about all her phone conversations with the
Yeah.
Jesus? That's fucked up, dude. She's out of her goddamn gourd.
Who'd have thought marrying Courtney Love would be a negative thing to do in your life?
Everybody.
She seemed like she had her shit so together.
No, well, she didn't until she
Exactly.
didn't, you know.
No. He married a fucking hurricane. He knew what he was doing.
Speaking about hurricanes, is anybody gonna drink any more of these? Because
I actually don't drink, so the fact that I have been drinking
On
tonight,
that note,
fucking social.
I'm gonna try this one more time.
Closing it out. You got to hit that one button. You know you got to do it.
Courtney did.
You
kill
play the
him,
reel, it goes
Nicole.
silent.
Courtney did kill him.
Everybody's on it.
I guess it's over.
Oh shit!
Is that the one?
That's how I know I'm in trouble.
The only thing she has is nice tits, Courtney. You're right, Nicole. That's about it.
She fixed her nose too. She went and got it all chopped up.
She has a pretty good
Didn't she
attorney
play- didn't
as
she-
well, by the
didn't-
way.
Didn't she play Nancy?
She's coming after us for sure.
Didn't she play Nancy? Who
Mm-mm,
played
that
Nancy?
was Chloe Webb.
Oh, all right.
She tried out for the part.
Oh,
though.
she
was
tried
in it.
out. For the
Wasn't
part.
no, but she was in it, wasn't she? Was a friend of.
Yeah, she played
Nancy.
Gretchen.
Yeah, she was in
Yeah.
it.
She played
was in
Gretchen. I
it.
think she, like maybe a
What
girlfriend.
a great
of the-
movie for
yeah.
punk rock, Sid and Nancy.
I remember going to see
Didn't-
that.
Let's all get fucking wasted lives and stab each other in some shitty.
I remember going up to Chicago to watch that play at some theater up in Chicago when it released, and that was pretty cool.
Not depressing at all.
Not at all.
No.
No.
I like the beginning of it when
All
it was
right.
like about.
I guess this is almost over.
I'm still
Yeah.
trying to close this out.
I normally don't
Come
put
on,
this
Shep.
at the end of my show, but look, guys, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Oh, this is the Blues Brothers.
So I'm gonna.
We play both kinds of music.
So you got
country
both of
and
our
western.
sponsors, right?
Country and Western.
All two.
Punk Rock Night and
Naptown Pint.
those guys are
Yeah,
awesome.
she was Larry Flint's wife in that movie.
Yeah,
You're right about
Alfie,
that.
yeah.
Exactly right. Yep.
Yeah,
As long as our sponsors know that we've mentioned them multiple times.
she's
now.
been in a lot of movies. She was in the Basquiat movie too,
Basquiat.
about Jean-Michel
Oh,
Basquiat.
man. What an artist.
She had in Feeling Minnesota.
Warhol rode his coattails. That's how good Basquiat
Did you know that
was.
Courtney Love was in a Ramones video?
Yes,
No, I did
she was
not
wearing
know
a
that.
wedding dress.
That's correct.
Yes, I do know that.
The more you know.
She's just up in everything.
Jennifer knows absolutely everything about everything about everything.
Pretty sure
Everything about everything?
No,
Her.
not everything about everything, but a lot about a lot.
So basically, Wikipedia. You know, all.
Like Genepedia.
Unless I get the
Genepedia
facts
is
You
like-
know,
wrong,
you
like
know
the
what, guys? If
Michael Jackson song.
if Robert O was
chorus.
here, you know what he would say?
Yeah.
No.
Turn on your fucking headlights.
Okay.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Yes, he
The
was.
same thing?
Don't talk to strangers.
Unless you
Shop
wanna have
smart.
fun.
Shop S Smart. We are the unheard. We are the overlooked. We are Chop Liver. And right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click.
Why did you have it queued up?
Because I was too busy thinking about the fact that It's been so much fun. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for everybody for chiming in. It's been super fun.
Great hanging out.
I
with
gotta
you
go,
guys.
man. I have to return
Thank you,
some fucking
guys.
videotapes.
Chopped Liver is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
You think you're weird? I think you're cool.